Look no further than this year's Belmont Stakes to prove anyone can get in on ownership at horse racing's highest level. We'll share the growing story of partnerships taking hold in the game. Tappert's Connections will try to share the wealth again today as Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners send out Earth in the With Anticipation. Can he stretch out around 2 turns? West Point has been another incredible partnership success story. They'll have Untamed Domain make his stakes debut after an impressive treble trip back here at Saratoga in July. Another partnership will try to take the feature when Donegal Racing sends out Shoke, who looks like he has a lot of upside after a runner-up finish in his debut effort. And we'll have the story of giving back in the wake of Hurricane Harvey. Jim McInvale joins us to share how he is giving back in helping provide shelter and food to Houston and the surrounding areas. He'll join us a little bit later on in the show. Welcome to another edition of Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Another beautiful day here in Saratoga Springs as we kick off the final week of racing here at the meet. Greg Wolf alongside racing analyst Gabby Godnet. It has been a tremendous meet. We've had so many highlights. We're going to be able to run them all down as we get toward the last few days here of the meet. But a lot going on, obviously not here only at the meet. We're going to be joined with the incredible story of what's happening in Houston as well. And we're going to highlight ownership and how you can get into this game. And we have a lot of partnerships in that feature race who have done just that, done a great job of growing the game.
Of course, and talking about those partnerships as well, we can see them kind of range in stories, right? Sometimes we see 4 people be in a certain partnership. It can range all the way up to a lot of people, like 50 people. So interesting to kind of dive into that, and really, really looking forward to Mr. McInvale joining our show later today. Yeah,
he'll join us in just a little bit. Look forward to our feature race. That is the With Anticipation 2-year-olds going a mile and 16th on the turf. Our track conditions for today, they're brought to you by John Deere. Main track fast. Turf condition is firm for today's races. We'll start off race 7. The late pick 4 begins right here. Mile and 3/16 on the turf. Entry-level allowance race that appears to be wide open, although Chad Brown right now with Durable Goods, who is your favorite race, 7 furlongs on the main track, and 2 horses who have had monster performances. Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher's runners going head-to-head. Our feature is that With Anticipation Grade 3 for 2-year-olds. With more on today's card, let's check in with another member of our crew, Maggie Wolfendale.
And Greg, well, today it's With Anticipation. We are all in anticipation of this Saturday with the Woodward, where Gunrunner will look to build upon that impressive effort last time out in the Whitney, where he earned a career-high 112 Beyer speed figure, and he has been prepping for this race. 2 back, he worked in company with Maiden Swayze, and they went 1 minute and 2/5, and it was an impressive work because he was really never let go, and he just easily blew by his workmate very easily. And trainer Steve Asmussen citing the fact that he's using the Woodward as the last race before the $6 million Breeders' Cup Classic, which will be the first weekend in November. And he just likes the fact that he gets to keep the horse here. He likes to track, obviously, and it looks as though it's a perfect prep heading into the Breeders' Cup. But he'll have to face a short field, though. Todd Pletcher will send out the horse that draws the 3-post in here. That is Rally Cry, who is your 8 3/4 length winner of the Alydar Stakes. He worked just a couple days ago with a work in 49 flat, did it very easily. I mean, the rider was really kind of trying to restrain him in the early stages of that work, and just he did it very, very fluidly, what you like to see. So, as I said, it's a short field here for the Woodward, but Gunrunner looks to solidify him as the possible leader of the handicap division, given the kind of drama that's played out on the West Coast, Greg, with Arrogate.
Yeah, Maggie, Gunrunner has moved ahead of Arrogate in the NTRA Thoroughbred poll, so he is #1 on that list. Now the target is on his back, and he'll have that Pletcher duo to deal with in the Woodward coming up this weekend. You can play along from home as we bring you all these races here on Saratoga Live each and every day by getting signed up and started with Naira Bets. Go to nairabets.com. You bet 200. And you get 200 in your account. Use the promo code PIG5, and voila, it is right there taken care of. You can get signed up and started with Naira Bets all across the country. Race 7 starts our late pick 4 sequence, mile and 3/16 on the turf. And right now, Gabby, it's Durable Goods for Chad Brown, coming off a maiden score here at Saratoga, the one to beat.
She is, but she also has a little bit to prove and some questions to answer, because she does face winners for the first time, an impressive maiden victory last time out. But the question is really, what did she face, as she will have to face a horse who went against Graded Stakes Company and Palinodi today.
Yeah, and several others as well. Let's bring in the rest of our crew. Head downstairs. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, former New York Met and LA Dodger Paula Duca, and joining us today as well, the voice of Monmouth Park, Frank Miramati.
Great to have Frank Miramati joining us. We haven't had a chance to fight since Belmont Park. Looking forward to doing that.
It's Italian-American Day. Take it easy, okay?
I'm kind of outnumbered. It's not really fair. Not really fair. Not having a day for me. Chad Brown, he's now has a 2-win lead in the trainers race. He's got Durable Goods. He's got Dovecoat. They're both coming off maiden wins. Now, Durable Goods got a very fast pace to close into last time, but she won very easily. As they stretch out to a mile and 3/16, shouldn't she be forwardly placed here?
I think she'll be forwardly placed. I thought her effort was really good last time. In her first effort, it looked like a horse that she wanted to go longer. When you watch her first race, it looked like she wasn't going to win, and she just kept coming.
I like the way she finished the job. In fact, I'm picking her in this race. She finished with a ferocious rally. The other Chad Brown horse you're talking about, Dovecoat, overcame her own antics.
We'll get to her in a moment, but he's got a strong hand, and Chad could extend that lead to 3 here. Todd Pletcher does, though, have a horse on the rail, and it's going to be fun to watch these two guys duel throughout the rest of the meet, because a 2-win lead may not be enough. And Moana's an interesting player for trainer Todd Pletcher. Now, you know, you look at him, dirt to turf, but I only care that it's first-time turf. And to me, this is a desperation move for a horse who was against the track last time, but did not run well at all. Her prior 2 races were good. Paul, she doesn't have that much turf pedigree.
Yeah, she does. And what to do with that last race? I know she had some early troubles. And then you go back and you look at Unchained Melody and Lockdown. They did not run well. Unchained Melody, obviously, something went amiss. But she's kept good company.
This is a one other than. This is where she belongs. She was a prohibitive favorite when absolutely laying an egg last time, I agree. But I'm not really against her pedigree. Yes, the dam was 0 for 1 on the grass. But more than ready influence to me is something that is a very positive thing.
She has enough pedigree. She may have to duel the 11 Barrel of Dreams in the front end, which will do her no favors. Let's take a look at a very interesting player for Christophe Clement, and that's the 3, Palinodi, if we can move off of the 1, Moana. Palinodi is a horse that made 1 race in this country back in November. Now, she faced a Grade 3 field. It wasn't the toughest field. She ran well in the sense that she only lost by a length and a half, but all 9 of them in that race were basically a few lengths apart.
It was a good performance. She did kick out, and she galloped right by everybody late. It was a race in which she really had it up against her. They go 6 furlongs in 19 and 3.
Yeah, but the winner came from the same, almost as far back as she did.
Came through the fence.
So it's not as though the race didn't fall apart.
It's a tough race to distinguish whether she was finishing or they were just bunching up. It's really tough to understand how good she is. 9-2 on the morning line, I think the public's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, and coming off a layoff, she's going to have her running shoes on, especially with the horses that have the recency. And you were mentioning before, Frank, Dovecoat for Chad Brown. She is too slow on figs to beat Durable Goods. Here's the question. Does she want more distance at a mile and 3/16?
Her last race, I think you have to give her extra credit for, because she went absolutely nuts at the gate. She was 4 to 5 at the time that her antics began. The public was running for cover. She ended up going off at 6 to 5, drifting up. And it's very rare that you see a horse go from odds on to 6 to 5 in the last minute of wagering. But people were trying to get off of her, and she still got the job done. But the horse
I don't remember those antics. I'm very curious if Maggie does.
Yes, Andy, and taking a look at Dovecoat here in the paddock, well, she's being her normal self as far as paddock time is concerned. She is a very well-composed type of filly, leading up to the gate, but hopefully she doesn't do those same things. I will be keeping a close eye on her, and that she hopefully behaves this time around. Physically, though, I like what I'm seeing from her, and each time I do see her come over to the races, she looks stronger. She puts on more muscle mass. I know she does look, as Andy said, a bit slow on paper to take down the likes of these, but I think she should run well here, and as I said, I will keep an eye on her as far as her mental kind of antics are concerned. Moving on to number 3, that That is Palinody for Christophe Clement. Now, I was not there when she made her stateside debut for this barn, so I don't have any notes to go back on. But as far as looking at her as a blank slate, as far as the fitness is concerned, she's solid, she's well-muscled, but still wondering if she'll need a race just to kind of get that tucked-up, race-fit look to her. But as far as her demeanor, I like it. She's into the bridle. She's kind of literally chomping at the bit, and I think mentally she's certainly well prepared for this start back. Taking a look at the first-time turf horse, that is number 1, Moana, for trainer Todd Pletcher. I think she'll handle it. Is she good enough to handle it against these, which are obviously more accomplished turf horses? We'll see. But I do think she has the physical makeup to be more of a turf horse. So it's a big question mark, and she currently sits at 6-1, Greg. We'll see if she's up for the challenge.
Yeah, 6-1 on the board on the debuter here on the turf for Todd Pletcher. She'll have the inside post here. Can she handle the grass? We'll answer that question coming up. We're going to take a break in the action, still to come on Saratoga Live. It's nothing like the feeling of getting your picture taken in the winner's circle, except being able to share that feeling with a group. The story of the group phenomenon of horse racing partnerships. Next.
Eclipse Award winner Blaine retired to stud with more than $4.3 million in earnings, including a historic victory over Zenyatta in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. In 2017, his top runners include stakes winner No Fault of Mine, Japanese star Resonator, and classic winner Singa, the dominant victor of this year's Grade 1 French Oaks, Blaine at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live as we're getting set and ready to go on yet another beautiful day here at Saratoga. Race 7 is quickly approaching, so now would be a good time to play the Saratoga Showdown contest. You can play along with us every day. It's a free online game following our races today on Saratoga Live. The highest mythical bankroll earns 50,000 NyraBets points and an entry to win some special prizes. So go to saratogaShowdown.com for more information.
All right, our pick 4 is coming up. We're close to $300,000 in this pick 4 pool beginning here in race 7. You can play, of course, at NyraBets.com. So you get a look at the 9 right there. Wide open race. Tisbury for Bill Mott. We'll have Jose Lezcano aboard. And, you know, you talk about Moana, the 1, debuting on the turf. It's not like these are the most accomplished turf runners in the world.
You make a good point because there are a couple of recent maiden winners who are facing winners for the first time, and she sure enough showed a lot of talent. Todd Pletcher even having the confidence in trying her in the Black-Eyed Susan, the Mother Goose, so maybe the surface switch will wake her up a bit.
This one right here, that 11, the win leader on turf for this group. 4-time winner, 3 for 4 on this course, but going to be stepping up here in company after facing solely New York breds the last few starts. Sam the Bugler with our call to post, and we begin our post parade with Moana. Trying the turf for the very first time here, the daughter of Uncle Mo for Todd Pletcher, Bridlewood Farm, and Eclipse Thoroughbreds with John Velasquez aboard.
She's definitely a talented filly, and she's shown some speed on the main track. Can she kind of transition that talent and speed to the turf today?
One of two in here for Chad Brown, the 2 Dovecote for Juddmonte Farms. Javier Castellano rides the daughter of Candy Ride.
Cuts back in distance coming off her maiden win. Lacks any speed whatsoever. Will need this race to fall apart.
Palinodi for Christophe Clement. It's Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard. It's been off for 10 months.
She's coming off of a layoff here, but she has faced arguably the best company and last seen in the Long Island Handicap.
Roy Lerman and Preferred Pow Stable send out Seafire Tyre Gaffleone aboard.
And she gets Lasix for the first time today. Will have to improve to beat these, though.
The other Chad Brown runner, Durable Goods for Klarovich Stables, and William Lawrence has Jose Ortiz in the irons.
Comes off a maiden win, a fast-paced race, but she should be closer, stretching out in distance, the worst to beat.
Grand Motion sends out the 7 Flower Valley, Joel Rosario aboard.
A good race on the lead last time out, but she's trying to get that elusive victory, 0 for 9 on the turf.
Tisbury we'll see next, the daughter of Tiz Now. And there she is, trained by Bill Mott, Jose Lescano in the irons.
On her toes here for trainer Bill Mott. She's one that figures to probably be a little bit poorly placed here.
And the mare for course. Barrel of Dreams 3 for 4 here at Saratoga on the turf for Charlie Baker with Manny Franco.
She's a 4-time winner on the turf, a 5-time winner overall, so that's the edge, and she has speed.
325,000 plus in this pick 4 pool. Paul, what are you doing here?
You got to get involved. I'm 4 deep in here. You probably don't need to go 4 deep. I can't believe the 2 is 8 to 1. I think the 2's worth a bet at that price. 2, 6, 9, 11. In race number 8, there's 2 horses that can win that race. Pattern Recognition, who I like, and Mr. Crow, who's just been dynamite in his 2 starts, the son of Tabazar. I'm taking my shot in the With Anticipation. Evaluator, the New York bred, was absolutely scintillating, just circling a field. I thought Untamed Domain was way better around 2 turns. And then race number 10, I think Tom Morley's got a shot with 2 of his runners. I'm also going to throw in first-time starter for Rudy Rod and the Phil Serpy runner. I think this is a good sequence, guys.
Yeah, I agree. It seems wide open. And then what do you do in that race where it is Pattern and Recognition, Mr. Crow for Chad Brown and Todd Pletcher going head-to-head? Tough call.
Well, if you're playing on a limited bankroll, you have to choose one or the other. But if not, I suggest using both.
Good call. There we go. There is Flower Alley, one of many you can make a case for in this race. 9 to 1 for Grand Motion.
She's racked up a couple of defeats, though. She does have 8 second and third place finishes out of 12 starts. They tried to wake her up last time out, though, Greg, by going to the lead. She really had a perfect trip. I just think she faces a tough, contentious field here today, and we can see this was Flower Valley a couple starts back, actually, on the 3rd of July. This is 2 starts back at Belmont. This was a day that she closed, so at least she's versatile.
Yeah, that's a good point, Gabby. She did close, and she has some versatility. But as you sort of alluded to, if she couldn't win last time when she crawled along in the front end, why would you want her here?
Yeah, listen, the thing that I will give to her in her corner, Lamonte Gris, who beat her, is in good form. Grateful, who beat her, is in very good form. So the last 2 fillies that have beaten her, she's been a little unlucky, but how many times you want to see this movie, you know?
Well, the thing is, I think her cutting back to a mile and 3/16 in this circumstance works to her advantage because of the fact that, as you both mentioned, she is a versatile individual. I think that there are others here with much more upside potential, the more lightly raced individuals for sure.
The other thing is, I mean, she broke her maiden on synthetic. She's over on the turf.
Yeah, I wouldn't use her. I can't use her over last, but she's 9 to 1. If you like horse at prices, it doesn't matter what we say up here. And the same can be said for the 9 Tisbury. Comes out of that same race. She finished a half length behind Flower Valley in the race we just watched at from Belmont Park. She's had her share of chance in 2. But you know what? She's 14 to 1. She's not awful.
I like her better in Flower Valley. I thought she'd been in a better race. She was wide most of the time. She's been behind her a couple of times. So you might think I'm crazy, but I'd take the 14 to 1 over the 9 to 1 on Flower Alley.
I'm going to have to go against both of you on that entire race, although I
So you're
respect
checking
them.
out both.
I didn't say I liked either one of them. They're big prices, though.
I think they can get a minor award here, but I really like Durable Goods. I think it's so hard to step up and beat winners the first time, but she looked like the goods last time. When she turned for home, she had the look in her face. She was running strongly, and I think she steps up right here and takes care of business.
Frank, if you came on our show for the first time in a while and didn't pick the favorite in the first race, I don't think the fans could take it.
I
What
want to give
about
him a
the
winner.
speed of the 11? I like the favorite too, by the way.
I'll tell you
I was
what,
teasing
this
you.
horse was giant last time. This mare, the 11, she took a lot of heat. I thought she was very good. She had a little bit of trouble early that you don't even spot. She had to rush up, and then she just put this field away. I kept watching this going, how is she going to win this race? And she kept going and going. I'm telling you, this horse is a player here at 7-1. Now, can she beat Durable Goods and some of these other ones? They let her go on the lead. She's going to be dangerous.
But let me ask you one important question. She's got to likely deal with the speed of Moana and then get a mile and 3/16. Frank, isn't that a problem?
That's the big question. Is more than dealing with Moana is the mile and 3/16. And let's not forget, we know that New York breds all start with an advantage, but when they step up against open company, regardless of what state you are in, you are facing a big hike in class, and that's what she's facing.
But here's the thing about Moana. You're looking at a horse that lost 3-5, and it says trailed first time out, then lost again last time at 35 cents. I know the horse broke. So turf is going to be the ultimate. I don't think the one shows that speed. I think the 11's way better proposition at 7-1 than the one at 6-1.
That may be the case. I'll be surprised the one doesn't show speed, Maggie.
I kind of agree with you. It's her best option here to kind of take it to them. Though I will say on the outside, Andy Barrel Dreams, who looks like the speed on paper, was very, very sharp. Just a question of will she be able to handle the mile and 3/16. So horse so that I alluded to some kind of pre-race antics is number 2 Dovecote. Now, right now, everything's good. We'll see. Is it the gate that gets her riled up? Maybe. But obviously it doesn't affect her that poorly because she won despite those her acting up a bit. So I think she is going to be my pick. I like the progression that she showed physically. Now, number 5 was one I was going to talk about, but the rider is off. It looks like we're adjusting the saddles. We see Florent Giroux involved with kind of moving his tack around. I will say that this filly, first time Lasix, she was a lot more calm than any of the other times I've seen her in the paddock, and 2, thus a lot more fit. So she's an outsider, that's for sure. Oh, now she's acting up again. Okay, this isn't good. This is what she normally does. In the paddock, she was good, and this is what she normally does. So the saddle's off. She kind of bucked at that. I was excited about her. Now I'm not so much with this whole saddle adjustment. Might throw her for a loop, guys.
All right, so Dovecote, the 2 behaving, and right now the 5, Seafire, not being the best actor. Although, looks like they have everything back on and adjusted and able to keep her calm right now. She's a big price, 16-1 on the board. She'll get Lasix today for her 3rd start here in the U.S.
And you have to give credit to all of the assistant starters. They're petting her. They're keeping her calm, cool, and collected, because sometimes that can rattle a filly a little bit before.
All right, we send it back downstairs. Frank, don't take that from Andy Serling. You're allowed to take Dovecote. By the way, Andy picked the favorite as well here.
No. Frank didn't take Dovecote. She's 8-1. He's got the 8-5 shot.
I'm sorry, the favorite. Yeah, you took the favorite as well, though, right, Andy?
I picked her too. I agree. I'm a chalk-eating weasel just like Frank.
Well, look, it took her a long time to get to the races. She's 4 now. She's shown some talent. If a guy can get her over the hump of facing winners for the first time, you're in the right hands with Chad Brown.
Let me ask a question, though, of both of you. Is 8-5 really a good price on her?
I cannot believe the 2's 8-1, so I think 6-5 is 8-5 is ridiculous on that. And I think Dovecote's going to run a big race here for Juddmonte. I get it. I get that Durable Goods is the horse to beat, but she's still a horse coming out of a maiden race.
It just feels, Frank, as though they're looking at Chad Brown horses and saying one of them has no chance and the other one can't lose. That's a little bit over the top on both ways.
I would say 8-5 is a little bit low on her, but the fans are trying to get a winner in. And the other horse that's taking action is the Clement filly that you mentioned, who I thought didn't do a bad job. Remember, that was a grade 3 race. This is a one other than condition. It's a big class drop for her in her 2nd start, and she's fresh.
I have no argument with that. I think I'm somewhere in the middle. It is a big class drop, but I also agree with what Paul said about the field coming together last time and sort of flattering her effort.
I'm with you. And here's the thing. 1.5 lengths. The more I look at that replay, she lost by like 2.5, 3. I don't know about that.
A length and a half to 2 lengths, one of those routes where they all hit the wires together, is like 10 in the dirt. But she can win, and she is the right second choice here. But I'll say I'd rather take 8-5 on Durable Goods than 5-2 on her.
I would too.
Ugh.
Not their finest moments. Taking 8-5 favorites, the 2 of them.
So much for creativity.
Yes. And you're winding up where again? Don't disappoint me.
I did land on the 3 Palino D.
Okay, there you go. 5-2. Yeah, coming out of a grade 3. I mean, any of those 3 horses that were top 3 in that Long Island would be very short favorites in this field. There's the other Chad Brown runner. We've seen him win with his other horse, the bigger price, at this meet. 8-1 on Dovecote here, this 3-year-old filly by Candy Ride. It's the start of the late pick 4. Over $500,000 in the pool. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of the Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Palino D moving into stall 3 now as Dovecote has taken her spot in line. Just waiting for the last two, Seafire and Barrel of Dreams. Barrel of Dreams goes in. They are all in line. They're off. And away to an even beginning here. Barrel of Dreams on the far outside, out for the lead with Moana from the inside. These two to set the pace, and right behind them is Palino D, who's hard-held running in third early on. Then Dovecote fourth on the inside. Tisbury's going up outside of horses. Then back to Flower Valley, and at the back are Durable Goods and Seafire. So it is Barrel of Dreams who heads into that turn in front. Opens up the lead by a length and 3/4 over Moana in second. Tisbury is third on the outside after a 23:04 first quarter. Dovecote follows in fourth to the backstretch, 4.5 lengths from the front. Then Palino D, followed on the inside by Durable Goods and Flower Valley to the outside. Seafire is trailing the field as they race on to the backstretch here in pursuit of Barrel of Dreams and Manny Franco, who have gone 47.44 for the first half mile. Moana and John Velasquez sitting in second, about 2 lengths off the lead. Then Tisbury on the outside, followed by Dovecote, Palino D, Durable Goods in behind them. Durable Goods is 7 lengths behind at this stage and leading Flower Valley and Seafire to the far turn. Barrel of Dreams all the way so far, 3/4 up in 111.27. Around the far turn with a 2.5 length lead on Moana. Tisbury is third on the outside. Then Dovecote, Palino D, and a held up Durable Goods is still 7 lengths behind and trying to save all the ground on the turn. They're into the stretch. Barrel of Dreams turning for home in front, turns it on to a 3-length lead. Moana is second, Tisbury is third. Dovecote comes up on the inside, and Durable Goods has got a clear run now, but Barrel of Dreams still has a 4-length lead here. It's Barrel of Dreams from Dovecote. Durable Goods on the outside in Moana. Barrel of Dreams, Dovecote. Barrel of Dreams all the way. Dovecote was second, and then came Durable Goods and Moana in 152.58.
Horse for Course does it again. This 5-year-old mare now 4 for 5 on the turf at Saratoga, and does it every step of the way in the front end. Nice job by Manny Franco.
Pace makes the race as Manny Franco went to the front end at 7-1. Everybody was worried about each other behind him, and he just said, I'm just going to keep on going on Barrel of Dreams. Look, she's a filly, or mare I should say, who had the experience edge, 5-time winner. She loves the turf here, and she kept on rolling. I actually thought it was a good performance from Dovecote, though, guys, given the pace dynamics.
Durable Goods was the one who ran the best race given the trip and the dynamics. Dovecote at least got to save ground and was closer. How Durable Goods was behind Dovecote early, I have no idea, but Barrel of Dreams is an old pro, and it's great to see Charlie Baker get her in the winner's circle.
That was a tremendous performance. This was a huge step up in class, and she was schooling the competition through the lane. She was gone.
Yeah, what happened was everybody else was, the 2 was waiting for a seam. If you could look down the backside, I'd like to get another picture on the backside. I have no clue why Barrel of Dreams is on the rail, and you have the 2 in here, and Dovecote and Javier Castellano just not wanting to ever make a move up the rail and sit, while this filly is just getting away. The 2 horse should have won this race, and he should have made a way earlier move. I told you before the race this horse had quality. I just think the 2 Jad Brown runners, they got too confident.
They did.
11-2-6-1, Barrel of Dreams. Gate to wire on the front end every step of the way here. 5th victory on the turf. And the Horse for Course gets the job done at a price here, 7-1. To start off this late pick 4, Charlie Baker, Manny Franco, and Newman Racing team up for the win. Up next, the showdown. And there's Mr. Crow. His last performance, lights out here at Saratoga. Won by 11.5 lengths. What can he do for an encore here for Todd Pletcher and KRA Stud Farm making his way to the paddock of the walkover right now. He's going to go up against Pattern of Recognition for Chad Brown. Those are the two big horses in our next race, the showdown coming up.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at nyrabets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on nyrabets.com right in the bet type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live and into the winner's circle here to start off this late pick 4 sequence. Barrel of Dreams. Manny Franco rolls to the lead from the far outside post and does it every step of the way on the front end here. 5-year-old mare by Not for Love out of the Broad Brush Mare Wide Barrel. 4 for 5 now on the Saratoga turf course. Let's head downstairs to Maggie.
And Greg here with trainer Charlie Baker, who sent out Barrel of Dreams. And Charlie, we were just discussing this filly, or I should say mare's, affinity for the Saratoga turf course.
Yeah, she loves it here. She's a different horse here. She heats good, she trains great, and she just loves it here. Yeah.
And a mile and 3/16 against open company. You're certainly stepping up today. What were your feelings going into this one?
I thought it was a tough race, honestly. I thought it was a tough race, void speed, and that's her game. So I thought that the only chance you have doing as good as she's doing and the speed in the race. So I told mine pretty much just let her run and not to take hold of her. And she likes that. She likes that.
She likes the confidence of being up front, that's for sure. And the Newman's having a great meet, as you are as well. And do you know they won with a Grade 1 steeplechase race?
Yeah, they can't do nothing wrong. It's unbelievable.
I don't know why I didn't give you that horse. Come on, Charlie, can't you try?
I claimed the horse, so.
Well, at least you had a little role in it.
Yeah, a little piece, very little piece. But they're doing great, and I'm happy for them. They're good guys, very good guys, and it's very good to have them doing good.
That they are. And we're glad to see you doing so good as well here at Saratoga again, Charlie. Congrats.
Thank you, Molly.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. I mean, Charlton Baker had a tremendous meet last year. It was sensational what he did here, and he's having another very good meet again in 2017. So good to see him rolling right along.
He works so hard, and all of his horses look so well when they come into the paddock. So good to see Charlie back in the winner's circle.
Well, New York Racing Association proudly offers the most extensive Spanish language content available anywhere. Luis Grandison provides pre-race analysis available on the NYRA Now app, all in HD. And he also provides race-by-race calls. Here's a look at the race that kicked off the NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 today.
Va repitiendo nuevamente Waystray y batallando con Bowley. Bowley dominando claro ahora con cuerpo y medio. Dos cuerpos dominados Bowley. De atrás está avanzando Precipitus. Viene avanzando fuerte Bowley. Adelante con Joel Rosario. 9-1 sorprende. Segunda está arribando Precipitus. Tercera está realizando Waystray. De cuarto se mete.
Belmont just keeps making that same move. First time dirt, and it works every single time. Does it again with Bull. Of course, he did it with Good Samaritan in the Jim Dandy. Here's the NYRA Bets Late Pick 5 follow-along. $145,000 plus in the pool and a $20 horse to start it off.
It's been a good angle there. The Belmont Good Samaritan angle, turf to dirt, first time dirt. Bull definitely got the job done, but two very nice prices to start us off.
Well, the dream of hitting a big pick 5, play with NYRA Bets, and maybe you can be the single winning ticket and win $150,000 minimum payout or $300,000 on Saturdays. You got to play through NYRA Bets to be able to take advantage of that. What about the dream of winning a Kentucky Derby, though, or a Breeders' Cup race? That's reserved only for horse racing royalty and the elite, right? That is no longer the case. In today's game, owning a share of an equine athlete has become commonplace, making ownership affordable and accessible to people from all walks of life.
Ready for the start. They're off in the Belmont Stakes.
All you have to do is, look at the Triple Crown this year. 2 legs, the Derby and the Belmont were won by public syndicates, and the Preakness was won by 2 good friends that are in the investment business, and so all 3 had partnership aspects of it.
And to see the sense of euphoria on our partners' faces, that we're able to enjoy that moment and to live that moment and create that memory for themselves, their family members, their friends that they had with them, that's what this is all about.
You see that glow of a group of people in the winner's circle after a partnership wins a race. Sometimes I see people that own 100% of a horse, and they don't have that many people in the winner's circle, and I just don't think that they have as much fun as partners do when they're in a partnership and they win a race.
Horse racing partnerships were considered to be founded by a gentleman named Cott Campbell, who founded Dogwood Stable 30, 40 years ago.
Well, when I first started a few partnerships, I had no intention of leaving the advertising business. But then it grew to such an extent. The Wall Street Journal and Forbes and Fortune were writing about this particular good horse I had at the time. And the first thing I knew, the tail was wagging the dog. And I either had to be in the horse business or the advertising business. And I burned my bridges and went in the horse business.
Mr. Campbell thought that it'd be a good idea to let the everyday kind of guy be able to participate in owning racehorses, and therefore he started dividing up the ownership of the horse, primarily because it makes so much sense for people to be able to spread their risk without having to put all their eggs in one basket.
I did have a flair, I guess, for marketing and presenting the product, and when I stumbled into this partnership situation, I did probably know how to present it. When I started Dogwood Stable in Atlanta, Georgia, to start a thoroughbred racing operation in that town, I think it took energy and enthusiasm to overcome stupidity and bad judgment.
What we all try to do is either breed horses or go to the sales and buy good prospects, and then take those prospects and put them into good hands.
Partnerships have become the rule now as opposed to the exception, which is incredible, and it's really a testament to Mr. Campbell's original thought and innovative mind many years ago when he brought the partnership concept to the fore.
I feel like I've certainly contributed. As it has been said, somebody was going to start the partnership concept, but I was maybe a good person to do it.
After the Derby, I can tell you, I got hundreds of texts, and the one email that I got, it was from Cot Campbell that I really remember that, it was good.
Well, Cot Campbell started it all, and it has grown from there. Now a huge part of this game and helping grow the game as well. We'll have the second part of that story coming up a little bit later on here in the show. Right now, time for a break. Hieroglyphics ran to a stakes victory. The Better Talk Now. Yet another example of a horse racing partnership bringing people together in ownership to enjoy the ride. Stay tuned for part 2 in our feature race coming up.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new Naira Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish. From a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. Naira Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download Naira Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before.
Back on Saratoga Live, and Wednesday, this open day, the final week of the meet, was Italian American Day here at the track, featuring Italian music, dance, entertainment, crafts, and foods, and all kinds of activities highlighting Italian culture, traditions, and history taking place all throughout the afternoon, and the anthem as well.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Frank Miramati, we had no idea you were so talented. You've been holding out on us.
That poor guy, man. He drew a bad card, didn't he?
You were sensational. You know what's so funny? It even sounded like you at the very beginning.
That's right. Well, he did some voice lessons with me last week, so we figured it out. And I said, if I'm going to have a lookalike, and it's not Martin Penz, I was third in the Martin Penz lookalike contest. I figured it might as well be this guy who has some good pipes.
I thought it was you, Frank. I mean, that wasn't you. Wait a minute. What's going on here?
I
thought we put you on the show because you sang the anthem. We better get this guy out of here. Get the hook.
At least I know the words.
Yeah, I thought he was double dipping, just trying to make a little extra money on the side there. That was actually Raffi Topolini, Italian singer, with that anthem there, but sounded a lot like Frank Miramati. And I mean, come on, Frank's a little better looking.
Of course. There's no comparison.
All right, this next race here coming up, this is the showdown that we've been looking forward to in here. Pattern recognition, second last out to Koffel, who was second in the Alan Jerkins, or the outstanding Mr. Crow, who just absolutely freaked in his second start here at Saratoga.
Well, the way they're betting, it might not be that much of a showdown here. We see Mr. Crow opening up at 3-5 and a huge performance breaking his maiden last time out. But the feather and pattern recognitions cap is that, well, he's faced two very good horses in his last two starts.
You guys team Todd or team Chad?
Well, I mean, it's a two-horse race, and Gabby actually took a shot, and I respect that with pattern recognition. I chalked it out. This Mr. Crow, I mean, he was with the track last time, but his debut was extremely good because with a little bit of trouble, he still ran 99 Buyer. 109 Buyer last race. I think the second fastest Buyer behind Gunrunner's Whitney.
Yeah, you know what happened is his first race, he got a ton of experience, and then this happened. Now, he's on the wrong lead. He's not doing a lot of stuff right, but he's just crushing a field here. That's what's happening, basically.
Look, I saw you dining with Mr. Andy Beyer last night, and I definitely respect the Beyer speed figures. But to me, when I watched this race, and this horse took a tremendous amount of money, I was surprised watching the money that he took and then with the performance. But to me, I just can't think that that was the second most impressive performance of this meet. And so, therefore, I believe the value does not lie in betting this horse.
So you think the figure was wrong?
I'm not saying it's wrong because I don't really know every element of the Beyer speed figures. But what I'm saying is when I see this and I see 109 for this horse, the first thing I think about is I wish he was in a stakes race so he could be 5-2 or 2-1 so I could toss him right out.
He's not going to stakes race off a maiden win. He was very much with the racetrack, and the racetrack helped his figure. But his first race showed that even under slightly adverse circumstances, he could run a 99 Buyer. So even if you factor that in, you say, okay, the track helped him a little bit. He's still running numbers in the triple digits. But he has a serious rival, and that's the two pattern recognition, who's had the misfortune of facing Colefront. And we saw that at Belmont, that win. Colefront came back and won the Amsterdam before bombing in the Alan Jerkins. And then Koffel ran second the Alan Jerkins. And he was wide last time, this horse, against a very strong rail. So he has an excuse as well. He's a serious rival.
No, serious rival in here. He needs to break a little bit better than he did last time. He got hung out in the middle of the racetrack. The race was over. I loved how he finished here. He doesn't look like, he actually looked like he was spinning his wheels at the top of the lane. He's lowering his head, and he's finishing with a little bit of gusto. He ran behind a nice runner who ran into a buzzsaw of another horse when he got run down by, you know, probably the most consistent 3-year-old in Practical Joke. So to me, the 2 is the other horse in here by far.
I'm going to pick Gray Sky to beat both of them here.
Help.
1 for 24.
Wow, Frank Miramati stepping it up and taking the third choice. This is an incredible moment.
1 for 24.
What about pattern recognition? We'll talk about him later. What about you're not a fan?
I'm not an overwhelming fan of him. I'll tell you why. When I watched, I remember vividly, I was with my buddy watching this debut of his, and there were 2 horses that took a lot of money at Aqueduct. And that was another circumstance where when he came back and faced Colefront in his next start, I thought to myself, I remember this race. There's no way he's beating Colefront. Colefront went berserk at the gate that day. It was a sweaty mess, and he still drilled him, and Colefront proved that it doesn't really matter what he looks like because he always sweats like that.
You're already right, though, about one thing. Mr. Crow was not the second best performance of the meet. Rally Cry got a 110, Maggie.
Well, not that you guys will take my opinion in consideration here, no, but if you had to ask me between pattern recognition and Mr. Crow, this time around, I'm going with pattern recognition. This is a big, brawny, very well-muscled, strong-looking horse. Now, I know on paper he has not run yet fast enough, or faster than Mr. Crow, but based upon appearances here in the paddock, I'm going to side with him here on this day. And looking at Mr. Crow, while he looks fine, he doesn't look quite as spectacular as he did at the beginning of the meet, and the front bandages are on for his third career start. So take that in consideration. A horse who did not switch leads in his last race, though running very, very fast. Now, to his inside is a horse that is coming off of a layoff that can be pretty quick from the stalls as well. That's number 5, Forset, in here for Jeremiah Englehart. And I appreciate the job that Jeremiah has done with this horse here overall. He looked to be a horse that wasn't that good in New York, bred maiden claiming winner, and he's gotten better. But the layoff obviously is a concern. While he does look very, very fit in here, he just looks like a horse that will benefit from getting the start because he just needs to bulk up a little bit here overall. So interesting field here, guys, going forward.
All right, Maggie, thanks. Well, Mr. Crow with those front wraps on. The good news is you could probably tie all his legs together with those front wraps. If he runs as fast as he did last time, he's probably still going to win.
We'll see. We'll see.
We shall see. There's Chad Brown talking to Javier Castellano. Can pattern recognition, turn the tables here and get the job done. We're going to take a break with Hurricane Harvey devastating Texas and the Houston area in particular. We'll visit with a man who's making a difference and bringing those needing home and shelter.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 Mile at Keeneland. Then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. With a pedigree free of Mr. Prospector in the first 4 generations, Data Link is the perfect outcross option. His first weanlings turned heads, selling well above the stud fee. Data Link at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, there's Rajiv Mirage. Things starting to pick up for him here at this meet. Had a Grade 1 win in the Ballerina. Want to remind everybody, keep playing with NyraBets after the Saratoga card ends. 250,000 point, all split on the 5th race at Del Mar coming up. Just bet a $10 base exact in race 5 at Del Mar and win or lose. You'll split 250,000 points. An easy way to get your Del Mar betting off to a great start. Go to NyraBets.com for all the promotions available. Post Parade is coming up here for race 8. 7 furlongs here in this entry-level allowance. And we're going to start things off with Cavill. The one here, Kieran McLaughlin. Trains the son of elusive quality for Godolphin Racing. Jose Ortiz will be aboard. 12-1 here.
Second off the layoff, has never gotten back to his maiden win and must improve dramatically to be a factor here.
Chad Brown trains pattern recognition for Klarovich Stables. Javier Castellano aboard, second to Koffel last time out.
A good second to Koffel. This is a horse that costs $420,000. He's a son of Adios Charlie, who stands for $2,500.
Gray Sky, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. Joel Rosario aboard.
He's got 14 seconds and thirds in 24 lifetime starts. His best finish likely second or third.
Speed with the 5 Forset, trained by Jeremiah Englehart and Manny Franco aboard.
Off a 6+ month layoff for a very good trainer. He's the one who can keep Mr. Crow company in the early stages.
And here is the 4-5 favorite, Son of Tapizar, won by 11.5 lengths to break his maiden back on July 22nd for KRA Stud Farm with Luis Saez.
Yeah, 11-1 first time out, and probably should have won that race and just absolutely crushed the one to beat today.
And Riff Raff Rajiv Mirage aboard for Michael DeVito Sr.
Winner last time at about 11-1, now been off since that win, and Mr. DeVito, pretty good little trainer, 3 for 14 lifetime.
I want to know who Frank Miramati bet when Affirmed and Aladar were going head-to-head.
Shake, shake, shake.
Affirmed.
Well, here's the one he's going with today. So here again is Gray Sky for Dwayne Lucas.
Yeah, Gray Sky is going to go through for Joel Rosario and Dwayne. And this is the horse that you like here, Frank. Better Gray and go away.
Here's the thing. He's got to beat Mr. Crow. And Mr. Crow looks fantastic walking out on the racetrack. But to me, I just figured you'd be looking at about 1-2, 3-5 on Mr. Crow.
But that 0 for 19 in the last 2 years is intriguing you.
He's got the man who taught Todd Pletcher what he knows.
How's he beating pattern recognition? Forget about Mr. Crow.
He'll beat pattern recognition.
He will?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. I don't.
I understand.
Andy's not going to take that head-to-head bet?
Well, I can't take advantage of Frank. He's a guest here.
He's 0 for 1 against me for the record in head-to-head.
No, I'm not.
Let's take a look at the August 4th effort from Gray Sky, and a lot of issues here early on.
He and Cavill look like they're bumping a little bit early in the stages, and Gray Sky did run well to get second behind Runaway Petrov. That wasn't a bad field last time. This horse ran well last time.
I like the way his last 1/8 of a mile went, Andy. You can see Petrov here turning in a tremendous performance on the turn back, and then Gray Sky will start to weave through traffic, find his best stride, and finish up okay.
You guys both need help off this replay because this horse sucks up second into a race that fell apart. This horse has got no chance to hit the board today. 5-1.
He can't be third? He can't be third?
Okay, so he's third to what?
Yeah.
The 2-1 and then 3-5?
Oh, no, I agree. He's likely to. I would be very surprised if, unless either the 2 or 6 don't show up, which is always possible.
Yeah.
Then the bestest horse could be his third. I completely agree with you, Paul.
He is, and Gabby, you pointed this out earlier. This horse is taking money, though.
He is. He's 6-1 right now. And I guess if you don't like pattern, if you think that pattern recognition and Mr. Crow, which I do, are the 2 horses to beat, maybe you try to split him with the 3 Gray Sky in terms of exactas. I don't know. I just can't necessarily see him winning considering he is 0 for 21 on a fast main track. But he did run well last time out.
Well, the horse who was going to pressure Mr. Crow, this one right here, this is Forset, and he's coming off back-to-back victories over the inner dirt, however, at Aqueduct. He's been off since February.
But I wouldn't just ignore this horse's talent. I mean, I don't think it's a very hard predicament to be in, to be the speed, deal with Mr. Crow, theoretically put him away, and then hold off the likes of pattern recognition. But I will say his last 2 races, he beat some talented runners.
He did, and I wanted to pick him. I was going to pick Curious Cal until he scratched. And so I wanted to go to Forset, but when I watched the end of that last race, yeah, he finished the job, but he didn't look like a horse that was going to be able to beat some of these others in here, to me.
No, I'm not suggesting he's going to win. I think you do have to talk about these horses and what the positives are.
Of course.
And when you're talking about 13-1 shots, he's not an untalented horse. It just shows how tough the racing, Paul, is in Saratoga.
No, it's true. He's going to have to battle the 6 the whole way, or you're, at least if you like the 2, like some of us, we're going to need him to battle the 6 some of the way. And there you see Mr. Crow. Can he lay off the 5? Does he let the 5 get to the front end?
Let me ask you a question, just a general question about the race. The 2 pattern recognition, he's inside of those 2. If he's your horse, don't you want to be aggressive out of the gate? And if the 5 and 6 go, then you let him go. But don't you have to be aggressive coming out with pattern recognition in case the 5 doesn't go and you can't let the 6 walk on the front end? The 6, of course, being Mr. Crow.
Yes,
I'm just talking about what you do if you're riding the 2 pattern recognition.
If you're Javier Castellano, you have to break better than you did last time. You got to push from the gate and then go like you're going for the lead and then see how it develops. And hopefully you can string them out because he's going to have to stay intact with Mr. Crow early, and hopefully Forset can do the dirty work for him.
We'll find out what Mr. Crow is all about today. This is a big test for him. He destroyed that field. I liked him that day. I liked what I saw from him. I remember one time at Hollywood Park when Jack Van Berg was in the elevator, I was talking to him about changing leads, and he said, it means nothing. And when that's coming from a Hall of Famer, that's good enough for me. Yeah. So while he maybe didn't look like the poetry in motion, he did it in spectacular fashion last time out. I take nothing away from his victory. I just think that in the end, 4-5 is going to lure in some more chalk bettors, and you're going to look at 1-2 later.
I want to let Gabby talk about the 2 pattern recognition because I thought she made a very good case for why you might want to bet him against the favorite when we did Talking Horses earlier today.
Well, Andy, okay, so we're looking at 4-5 right now on the 6, Mr. Crow. And obviously he's facing winners for the first time today. And he was coming down the stretch on the wrong lead, and he has to get added distance to 7/8. Pattern recognition, on the other hand, here for Chad Brown, he has faced winners, and 2 very nice winners in Takaffel and Cold Front. So he almost has that experience edge facing winners, and he's also gone 6.5 furlongs before. So I just think that there's a little bit more confidence in a horse like this than a horse who had an explosive win, a flashy Beyer speed figure last time out, but has to prove that he can face winners.
No, you bring up a good point. I mean, he has certainly faced better competition, but I'll say this, his last performance for Mr. Crow, that easily would have got second against Takaffel, don't you think, last time out?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So we'll see what happens here. 9-5, some more late money now coming in on pattern recognition. The showdown between him and Mr. Crow coming up. New audience joining us right now. Welcome to Saratoga Live, and those just joining us on Altitude Sports Network. Good to have you with us as we kick off the final week of the meet here at Saratoga. Greg Wolf, Gabby Gaudet, Andy Serling, Paul LaDuca, Frank Miramati, and Maggie Wolfendale with you. Our show presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Our 8th race coming up, in most, with the exception of Frank Miramati, seem to think this is a 2-horse race. You have the 3-5 favorite, Mr. Crow, who won by 11.5 lengths here at Saratoga back on July 22nd to break his maiden, or you have the 2 pattern recognition for Chad Brown, who was just second to Takaffel, who was second in the Allen Jerkins. Before that, he was second to Cold Front, who won the Grade 2 Amsterdam.
And oddly enough, Andy's the only person who's picking the 6, Mr. Crow. We're all going in a different direction, but this is really, in my opinion, a 2-horse race between Mr. Crow and pattern recognition. I'm siding with the horse who has more experience.
Or is it? With more, let's go to Maggie.
Look, I'm with Gabby. I thought pattern recognition, to me, on this day, between the 2 of him and Mr. Crow, he looks the best. But a real quick note here on number 1, Cavill. On paper, he's not fast enough to beat either of these horses, if not several of the other ones on here. But I just thought that maybe second off the bench, he's very, very fit, very tight. Jose Ortiz gave him a nice warm-up. I like the way that he was kind of ridden into the bridle. Let's see what Jose is trying to elicit out of him leaving the gates. But I just thought he was a long shot for good connections that could be considered underneath.
All right, Maggie, thanks. Yeah, maybe try and create some value here underneath. But you got to be right in those first 2 slots, because you don't want to box it up top, right? Got to be right, because you're not going to get a huge payoff here.
Well, I actually don't think Cavill's impossible. If a lot of things have to go wrong in order for Cavill to win, but Andy, he did have an excuse last time out exiting the gate, and this is the second start off of the layoff.
No horse is impossible, but he's a little ridiculous based on his PPs.
He can show speed, though, from the inside.
Excuse or not. Yeah, excuse or not. The only big race that he ever ran, and I'm not complaining, I bet him that day, it was an off-the-turf race at Aqueduct. He's never come close to running that number again.
No, he's always had outside slots. So the inside slot forced him towards the front end last time. He got left and rushed. We just showed you the replay. Petrov and Gray Sky were last and second to last. So he was up against it last time. Maybe he can go towards the front end. He's a little washy, and maybe he's on his toes. The 2 needs some help. Let's just be honest. Unless Mr. Crow does something bad or makes a mistake at the gate.
Is 7 furlongs something that may help the 2 more than helps the 6, though?
That's projection. No, Mirror Man. It's tough to project.
7 furlongs is a very testing distance, and typically speaking, I like to see a horse that has at least a race at a mile or more. Now, obviously, these horses are lightly raced. They haven't had that opportunity yet, and that's one of the reasons why I decided to take a flyer with Gray Sky. At least he has a little bit more stamina proven in his background. And I realize it takes a lot to lose this many races so quickly, but he's in the hands of D. Wayne Lucas, and this is the type of race that sometimes you look at Saratoga, where it just looks like it could only be these 2, and then you end up scratching your head wondering what happened when a horse like Gray Sky, who has had his backers in the past as well, he's been favored on several occasions and disappointed them. If he gets there today, he's going to pay $16 or $17. I think it's worth a chance.
Somebody may split these 2, though I don't expect it, but somebody may. One of these two will win. Otherwise, we'll have a carryover in the Naira Bets late pick 5. That's my prediction.
Yeah, if it's not one of these two, being the 2 or the 6, you would certainly think that's the case. Isn't the key to this race, Gabby, the 5? If he pressures Mr. Crow and makes it difficult for him on the front end?
For sure. So 4 set the 5. He's posted 1 inside of Mr. Crow. So that actually gives Mr. Crow options because Mr. Crow closed in his first start. He was just so much better than the field that he faced in his second start. So we'll see. I think Mr. Crow might be a little bit more tactical, but it could be a thorn in his side.
Todd Pletcher, Chad Brown battling for the trainer's title. They got the top 2 choices here. 2 very talented horses going head-to-head in Mr. Crow and Pattern Recognition, the 2 and the 6. Here's Larry Colmus, the voice of New York Racing, with the call.
They're off. 4 set in Pattern Recognition with good starts. Mr. Crow is right up and on the pace, too, and Riff Raff on the far outside. And then it's back to Caffel in Gray Sky as they head up the backstretch, 4 set to the front. 3/4 of a length over Mr. Crow, who sits second on the outside. Pattern Recognition is third. And then it's Riff Raff in fourth as they continue up the backstretch. 3 lengths farther back to Caffel. Gray Sky trails to a 22.71 quarter. So up the backstretch they go. Manny Franco rushes 4 set out of the gate to a 3-length lead heading to the half-mile pole. Mr. Crow continues to press on the outside while Pattern Recognition will ride the rail into the turn. Riff Raff is right alongside of Pattern Recognition. They're head and head, a length and a half off the lead. 2.5 clear of Cavill in Gray Sky is the trailer. 4 set in Mr. Crow. Mr. Crow to the front as they round the far turn. 4 set continues to battle. Pattern Recognition is coming to a ride third. Riff Raff is fourth on the outside after a 45.74 half. They're into the stretch. And Mr. Crow takes off. Opens up a 2-length lead here from 4 set. Pattern Recognition a full out third, and then it's on the inside Gray Sky in fourth, but Mr. Crow is gone. Mr. Crow, another impressive effort here, eased up under the wire to win it by 6 over Pattern Recognition. And then it was 4 set and Riff Raff in a final time of 1 minute 22.07 seconds.
All the worries, the front wraps not switching leads. This horse is just really, really good.
I know what my friend Andy Beyer would say. The figs don't lie. Mr. Crow had a nice trip, but that was fast. That was a fair enough pace in there. Pattern Recognition had no excuse behind him. He was just second best. It's a very promising runner.
Yeah, it is. And you could tell the Son of Tapazar is still a tiny bit green. He's looking all over the place. A little bit better moving down the lane last time. And I think Todd Pletcher was like, haha, I'm going to put front wraps on you so I can get 3 to 5.
This was nice. I don't think he was thinking anything of the sort. But Mr. Crow really buried this group very nicely. And once again, proving that the changing of leads doesn't always have to be the case. Very, very talented runner. And people who took 3 to 5 are thinking that Christmas came a little early today.
And Frank, it's interesting that you bring up the point of this horse not switching leads. Obviously, he didn't do it last time out, and he's been prone to not do it in the mornings as well. And sometimes we see riders try to ask them to switch leads at the top of the lane and correct them. Louis Saez not doing that, obviously having experience on this horse in the past. He's just good.
You know, it didn't matter with him. Let's just keep on rolling, and he wins by a country mile here. So if you had 3 to 5, that's the way you're supposed to win when you're that price. 6, 2, 5, 8. The showdown between Pletcher and Chad Brown this time goes to Todd Pletcher and Mr. Crow. Very talented runner. This Son of Tapazar certainly appears to have a future here. He's now reeled off back-to-back wins by impressive margins. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with the prices from Mr. Crow's win and set up our feature race still to come. We're going to have 2-year-olds going 2 turns on the turf coming up with a grade 3 with anticipation. Earth, Todd Pletcher will try and rack up another victory here. 2 sprints and now stretching out. Can he circle the field in the with anticipation? We will find out next. Our feature coming up.
Visit the new Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and where the hottest new slots are paying out millions. Sign up for Rush Rewards and play up to $500 in slots on us. Plus, we'll double any casino offer and match your tier. Rivers Casino and Resort.
Multiple Grade 1 winner First Samurai by Giants Causeway got off to a quick start at stud, siring Grade 1 winners in each of his first 3 crops. His talented son Lee captured the Grade 1 Don Handicap in record time and retired to stud with over $2.3 million in earnings. Sovereign Award nominee Stack Deck captured the Grade 3 Bold Venture Stakes and Grade 2 Kennedy Road Stakes, both just to tick off track record times. First Samurai at Claiborne Farm.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at nyrabets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on nyrabets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live, Mr. Crow, Mr. Sensational here in this 8th race. Back-to-back wins now for trainer Todd Pletcher. KRA Stud Farm, Luis Saez aboard for each and every start for the son of Tapazar. Let's send it downstairs to Maggie for more.
Here with winning conditioner Todd Pletcher. Mr. Crow, Todd, he seems to be a fast horse. 7 furlongs, not a problem. Neither is switching leads. He just seems a horse that's his technique, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, he's like that in the mornings, too. You know, sometimes he will, sometimes he won't. So, you know, we try to ask for it in the mornings, but we don't make a big deal out of it. It's obviously not slowing him down any, so we're not going to get in his way too much.
And Todd, you're sending out 2 horses in the With Anticipation. The next race here, Earth and Shoke. Hopefully, my Gaelic is Shauk. Okay, yeah. I tried. But between the two, obviously Shauk is a maiden, but he has a 2-turn experience.
Yeah, I thought he ran a winning race. He just missed. He got kind of hampered a little bit, got cleared late, made a good run. He's always trained really well, so we kind of felt like we'd go ahead and point for this race after that. And I think Earth will appreciate getting to stretch out a little bit, as his 2 races on the turf have been sprints, and I think his pedigree suggests he should want to run longer.
All right, and also this weekend, the Woodward in the cards for Rally Cry. Obviously, Gunrunner's the horse to beat, but you certainly have the second choice, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Rally Cry ran great here in the Aladar. He's been training well. We also have Neolithic going in there, and, I thought he ran really well at a distance shorter than his best, and he's come back and trained well. So we know it's a tall task to take on Gunrunner, but we're really pleased with the way our 2 horses are doing.
Todd, congratulations, Mr. Crow. Fast horse. Good luck in the next.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thanks to Dreyfong, dodge a bullet.
Perhaps.
Getting ahead of ourselves maybe a little bit, but a very talented 3-year-old Mr. Crow now. Back-to-back wins. Of course, Todd Pletcher completed 2/3 of the Triple Crown this year with Taprit's win in the Belmont, owned by Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners, a partnership. We talked about the origins of Cott Campbell getting it all started with partnerships in horse racing. Many have followed in his footsteps, becoming an important part of growing the game.
You'd be amazed at the things that can go across the synapses in your mind in a 16th of a mile.
One of the great things of a partnership experience is that you do get to share those special moments.
So I think that the whole concept of getting together is really starting to spread out across the industry.
Syndication ownership is on the rise, not just domestically here in the States, but it's actually even more popular abroad.
Returning to the winner's circle is Tampred.
So what we do now is every horse that we buy is put into their own individual LLC. So when you invest in that partnership, you're just investing in the single horse.
The diversity that various partnerships bring to the table, whether it be an all-women's partnership like Lady Sheila, like Star Ladies, I think that's all wonderful because they're going to attract individuals, ladies in particular, that want to be part of that experience.
I've been very fortunate to have extremely powerful women onto their own rights that are partners of mine. I've got so many different types of women that are all powerful women, and to get about 9 of us in the room together, we've done that, and we've traveled together, and it's been incredible, but a lot of big personalities. And it's made us, we all have a common bond now. There should be more women, and there should be more partners, and there should be more female just enjoying. We can enjoy what the men do, and it's exhilarating. A win shot.
Her focus is to bring more women into the business, and she's been at the forefront of that movement, so I give her a lot of credit.
If we're bringing a little glamour back, not back, it's not that there has not been, but a little glamour, why not?
Fresh owners are the lifeblood of the industry. There's no question about it. So the promotion of horse ownership by way of partnerships is imperative to not just allowing us to survive, but allowing us to grow and expand throughout the country.
I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm here with my family, friends, and we're in New York. Great!
We need to welcome any and all comers into our game that want to put up their capital and that want to take a shot at getting lucky. We've stopped the creep of the ages of our, the average ages of our owners overall. You're seeing families get involved. You're seeing people that work together on Wall Street and in other industries come together. And one of the things that we've seen just in the last 2 or 3 years, you'll see big owners get together with public syndicate.
You see Coolmore partnering with Stone Street, Windstar with China Horse Club and SF, and all these massive, huge titans of industry. They could very easily go to loan, and they've recognized the value of the partnership and the ability to spread risk, and they're getting in on the game. So there's no question that it is a trend. It's a positive trend, and it's a trend that's definitely going to continue to take hold and grab the industry and continue to thrive.
I tell people, if they ever have a chance to win the Kentucky Derby, take advantage of it.
You had me at win the Kentucky Derby. I'm all in. But the more the merrier, right? Having a big group like that just makes it more fun.
I will tell you, the partnerships, they bring people from all facets of life into the sport, and I support anything that brings new people and more people into the sport of horse racing, and the excitement that you can share with your friends, your family, or really new friends, and it's incredible, and we see how much success they've had this year and really years previously too.
Yeah, if you've never been to Saratoga, that's a big part of it, what it's like here, just meeting people who love this game, and the commonality of it kind of unites everyone, but I can't even imagine taking that next step and what it's like and owning horses together. It's really the only opportunity in any sport where you have the opportunity to own a piece of your own franchise and be involved in it.
Exactly, and you don't know where the road will lead you, maybe to the first Saturday in May.
Yeah, and as we heard there from Terry Finley at West Point Thoroughbreds, 2/3 of this year's Kentucky Derby won by syndicate partnerships. We're going to take a break in the action. When we come back, our feature race, 2-year-olds in the Grade 3 with anticipation. Who will step up? We'll find out when we come back.
Summer of Dreams 4 is back at Foxwoods, and we've got guaranteed millions in cash and prizes up for grabs. Sign up free for Foxwoods Rewards and earn points playing our World Series of Poker and the Big Dream Slot Tournament with Mario Lopez. Also, try our new skill-based slots. Then, use your points for summer wonders like Lobster Madness, golf at the Lake of Isles, and shop the region's only indoor Tanger outlets. Foxwoods Resort Casino, the wonder of it all. Find your wonder now at foxwoods.com.
Change the way you watch racing forever with the new NYRA Now app. Live racing in English or Spanish from a variety of camera angles, race replays, talking horses, race analysis, and a multitude of on-demand content, all in high definition. NYRA Now is available on many platforms, including iOS, Android, Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and more coming soon. Download NYRA Now today, free in the App Store, and start watching the best racing like never before. Back on Saratoga Live, that's just part of the reason I love this racetrack so much. I feel like those signs have been there since the track opened in 1864.
The history, and everywhere you go, you kind of see the metal work as you're walking around the track. It just takes you way back when.
History all around us here. We have the With Anticipation coming up. Back in 2002 in the Sword Dancer, the 7-year-old Greg Gelding looked like he had no chance to get that win. His trainer Jonathan Shepard said top of the lane. I thought he was going to be 5th in this race. Winds up becoming the 3rd horse to win the Sword Dancer in consecutive years. And for Pat Day, he wound up breaking Chris McCarron's record for career earnings in this race. And he earned a standing ovation from the Saratoga crowd.
Wow, what an exciting finish there. And he was such a good horse. He had a big year in 2002, taking the Sword Dancer, Man of War, and the United Nations all in one fell swoop.
15-time winner of over $2.6 million. And With Anticipation's career, winner of the Man of War in back-to-back years as well, along with the Sword Dancer for Augustin Stable and Hall of Fame trainer Jonathan Shepard. Every day of the Saratoga Meet, NYRA Bet's offering a 10% winner's bonus on your trifecta bet today. That race is the With Anticipation. Use your mobile device, hit the trifecta, and earn that 10% bonus. See the full schedule and bet Saratoga Racing and over 200 other tracks nationwide by getting signed up all across the country at nyrabets.com. Let's take a look at our field for this Grade 3 With Anticipation. 2-year-olds running for a purse of $150,000. Mile and a 16th on the turf. And Evaluator right now, the 9-horse for Michael Dilger. Won against New York bred company first time out, but had to swoop the field and won by 4 lengths in that debut. It was very impressive.
Oh, first and foremost, Greg, this is an incredible betting race. And not surprised that Evaluator is your favorite right now. Yes, he only just faced New York bred company, but a horrible break. And as you said, he had to circle the field for victory. But you could make a case for every one of these runners in this field.
This horse, though, we thought would be taking considerable amount of money, guys, and certainly that is the case right now.
I picked him. Nobody should be 2-1 in this race. The most important thing I think about Evaluator's last race was that he broke about 2 or 3 lengths behind the field when he hit the gate. And also, as we'll see him break slowly, but we'll also see him in the stretch, Paul, Joel Rosario was just hand riding him. But it was a weak field. This is a much tougher field.
This is visually one of the most impressive races I've seen from a 2-year-old, because I'm not lying to you, this horse made a quarter pole move and went by these horses like they were tied to a tree, Frank. And he's right when Andy's saying, look at Joel just hand riding this horse. He's just keeping him out of trouble. He just went around the field. It worries you a little bit that the field was not much, but still you have to have a lot of talent to do this.
Love the way he won, and track announcer Larry Colmus had a very serious inflection. He doesn't overly inflect, but this was a performance that caught his eye as well, and it was a very impressive one. That was a giant effort, and his fans were rewarded at 9-1. I think you might have tweeted about Overanalyze either after this one or the next one that won for Overanalyze on the grass, that he has produced some nice turf horses. More than ready on the bottom. His horse is bred for the grass, and he ran beautifully.
Yeah, he's obviously one of the big players. I pick him. I wouldn't take 2-1 in any horse in this field. The 8 Untamed Domain is crazy over bet 7-2, though. I'd rather take 2-1 in him. He won. He had a little trouble last time, but at the end of the day, he's getting him over bet because it's a West Point partnership, and they bet their horse. We like it. That was a very slow race, and the runner came back to do no running in a maiden special weight.
See, I take the different approach. I get where you're going, but visually, I thought he was very impressive last time. He did deal with a little bit of issues. The time before that, he got beat by the 2, who's 32-1.
Right.
Okay, I do get that, but he was very good last time. I thought he was able to handle trouble and go on with it. So to me, at 7-2, I think he is getting a little bit over bet, but I think he's got a shot in here.
He's okay.
Okay, we'll see what Maggie thinks.
Well, guys, taking a look at the field for the With Anticipation, it is deep and it is competitive, as we'll take a look at number 11 in here. That is Shoke. Now, he is a maiden in this field, but he did run very well upon debut, and coming out of that race, he's even more fit, more tucked up, and I think the experience that he got proves and will kind of lend itself well to his running here today. I think Shoke is going to be a very talented runner here for Todd Pletcher. Now, number 8, Untamed Domain, yes, he is getting over bet a little bit, but I can say he's another one that came out of his race and put on more muscle mass, got stronger, is one of the better looking horses in this field. Now, we'll see if he is actually over betting here, if that race is a bit on the weak side, which I kind of agree with Andy that it might be. But still, from the individual physical perspective, really like what I'm seeing from number 8, Untamed Domain. And then a bit of a price down on the rail is number 1 in here. That's Morrison, a horse whom Joe Sharp has tried tirelessly to get this horse on the turf. And I've said from the get-go, I think he should handle it. Furthermore, I think he'll like the more distance he gets to cover. He's a very big 2-year-old son of the Factor. And finally, for once, he's actually very nicely composed in his pre-race, goings on. And I think he's an interesting long shot, given the fact that his connections have really wanted to see him on the turf. Greg.
Maggie, thank you. Yeah, tried to get on the turf in his debut. It was taken off. So we shall see. The Factor out of a Menifee mare here. Turf debut at 13-1 on Morrison. We're going to take a break. We will be back. Our feature race coming up. Can Shoke get by Trumpy here and the rest of this group here in his second start? Still looking for his maiden win. He'll try and do it in a grade 3 next.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use NyraBets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. NyraBets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, fans enjoying this Wednesday afternoon with a little cocktail and some racing. And our feature race coming up, the Grade 3 with anticipation. So look at Luis Saez. He's going to be on board for Mark Casse here on a son of Kitten's Joy, who first time out got the job done right here at Saratoga.
He did. He got a beautiful trip down on the inside, but he's a winner going into this field. And like I said before, you can make a case for several in this race.
Call to post behind us. Post parade coming up. That right there, the 10-horse. Going to try and take this field gate to wire one more time. That's what he did in his debut. No one was able to catch him. So we'll see if he can steal it again here this afternoon. Junior Alvarado will be back on board. Our post parade is brought to you by OCD Pellets, celebrating their 10th anniversary of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, go to OCDpellets.com. Here is Morrison for Newport Stables, trained by Joe Sharp with Irad Ortiz Jr.
Yeah, son of the Factor, going to get on the turf for the first time. He has done well with his first-time turfers, 12-1 on the charcoal gray.
Naughty Boy, trained by Aaron McClellan and Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
Shocking victory at first asking. Understandably, they took a shot on the main track, but now he's back where he belongs, on the grass.
Jonathan Thomas sends out the 3, Catholic Boy for Robert LaPenta, Manny Franco aboard.
A lot of horses dead on the board, except this one right on that morning line and getting a little respect off that win first time out.
Here's one of the partnership groups here. Clips Thoroughbred Partners sending out Earth with Javier Castellano for Todd Pletcher.
Nice win in his debut over at Gulfstream, a little freshening. He was a little disappointing last time, but take nothing away from the winner, Hemp Hooray, who turned in a sparkling effort.
Fort Wise Treaty, owned by Mark Breen, trained by Brad Cox with Florent Giroux.
This has got to be one of the first sons or daughters of Fort Larned. Remember him? He won the Breeders' Cup Classic, 27-1 for Brad Cox.
Irish Territory for Zayat Stables, the Jose Lezcano aboard for Bill Mott.
He's got the famous turquoise and gold colors. He had some trouble in his debut. The winner and runner-up are taking a shot, so they decided to roll the dice as well.
Stone Street Stables sends out Mock Tree, trained by Mark Casse with Luis Saez.
Professional first time out, the son of Kitten's Joy. Not really getting played at the window. Didn't get played first time, though, at 10-1, so maybe a live 15-1 shot.
Untamed Domain, trained by Graham Motion. Campaigned by West Point Thoroughbreds with Jose Ortiz.
A son of this very talented Animal Kingdom. Needed Lasix for career start number 2 after a decent debut against Naughty Boy and took care of business.
Current favorite Evaluator, son of Overanalyze for Michael Dilger, RNH Stable with Joel Rosario.
Could not been more impressive last time. Left of the gate and just circled the field. Now faces tougher today.
The Speedster Trumpy, trained by Bill Mott, owned by Peter Vegso with Junior Alvarado aboard.
He built a wall between himself and the competition last time out, and no one was able to catch him.
And Shoke for Donegal Racing, trained by Todd Pletcher with John Velasquez, just missed a Trumpy first time out.
Yeah, ran right into that wall.
So that is your field. That is our post parade. We talked about Earth for Todd Pletcher in here, stretching out here after a couple of sprints in his first 2 tries, including the Tyro at Monmouth. He is a son of Orb. Of course, the former Kentucky Derby winner, won the Florida Derby, leading up to the Derby victory. And his first runners off to an incredibly fast start, scoring on both turf and dirt, and in the sales ring too, including a $1 million Coast sales topper at Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Select Sale. It's been the leading sales sire of first crop juveniles. Also had a $1.25 million colt sold at OBS March.
They've been very popular at the sales, and rightly so, because they've been showing up in the afternoons as well. And the most important thing is that they've been handling 2 turns, which is what we're seeing from Earth today as well.
Orb, part of that stallion roster at Claiborne Farm. So we'll see how Earth does. Another Orb colt coming up here in this race. And there he is, 13-1. Meanwhile, Trumpy, first time out in a common race, along with Shoke. Irish Territory, the 6 was in that race as well, but Trumpy every step of the way in front.
He was, and he really did have the tactical advantage. We don't often see Bill Mott, first-time starter, shoot out of the gate as we did Trumpy, but we also saw some troubled trips from others. I thought Shoke actually had a dream trip, saving ground on the rail, but as you could see, the number 7 in there, Irish Territory, who's the number 6 today, guys, had a really hellacious trip in here.
Yeah, it's interesting you point out the 6 Irish Territory. He was badly stayed out, and they're taking a shot because the horse that wins this race will likely qualify for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf.
Yeah.
And the 6 was badly eliminated Irish Territory. We don't know if he can run, but he was eliminated. Seaback was in very tight, cut the corner, came through on the inside. The winner of this race, he had the run of the race. The thing I don't like about the winner, the Son of Majestic Warrior for Bill Mott, is that Bill Mott won with a couple firsters here a couple years ago, and one doesn't equal the other, but those horses did not come back and run as well, and I wonder if he had them cranked up the first time, if you'll see that performance again.
You see Shoke in the middle getting second. There's the 7 showing up late. That was Irish Territory that day. You know, from the beginning of that race, the Son of Declaration of War, I'm talking about the 6 Irish Territory, the horse was ranked from the beginning. Did not want to be inside of horses at all. So I think he caused his own trouble, and I'm wondering at 5-1, that is a risky proposition to take a horse to me, that still needs to grow up a little bit.
Came up with a solid work last time out, 47-1 breezing. I thought Shoke ran very well. He was just in a little bit of a tough spot. Picture this. This is his debut coming through that very narrow opening on the inside. He hadn't changed leads. It was just a little bit uncomfortable, and he was getting to the winner. And I think that of those 3, he's the one that has the opportunity to take a giant step forward this afternoon.
You know,
good-looking horse.
It's interesting, and I'm not disagreeing with anything that Frank said. I do want to say one thing about the 6. For Irish Territory, trouble or not, to be 5-1, now 6-1, there's a story. This horse must be a workout horse or something. The 6 is taking a lot of money in here. The 7 Mock Tree is a horse that I know you're very interested in, Frank. Taking no money right now. The Cassies have very good numbers off of maiden wins in turf routes. It was a slow race, and he had an easy trip, though.
It was an easy trip, I will give you that. I just thought it was professional and that he did what he was supposed to do in that race. And as we watch the performance right here, he is the number 2 horse. And right now, you don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, he doesn't look good here, right?
Right.
But now he does.
Now
He's
he's going to
straightened out.
kick. Look at him kick. He switches leads, and he gets a little more professional. I like the way he did it. And at the end, the horse Honey Don't looked like he was going to go right by him, and he was pulling away from him at the end. I'm a little concerned at the fact this horse opened up at 17-1, is now coming down to earth a little more. But I figured in a race like this, he had a very decent chance to win.
Big price if you like him, Greg.
Yes, he is. There's a lot of big prices in this race. A horse, though, who's taken money on the outside has actually not won yet. He just missed against that lone speedster, Trumpy, in the debut. That is Shoke. He'll be to the outside of Trumpy today, the 11 horse for Donegal Racing. With more, let's go to Maggie.
And it really seems as though partnerships are a bit of a theme here in this With Anticipation. As we see Eclipse, we see West Point, we also see Donegal. And here with Jerry Crawford. And Jerry, Donegal's kind of plan is a little bit different from other partnerships in that partners kind of buy into years and crops of horses.
Right. We buy somewhere between 12 and 14 horses a year, and they are all part of the same partnership. So if you join Donegal Racing, you own a percentage of all of the horses. By doing it that way, our partners never miss out on the big horse. If they're investors that year, they own the same percentage of all the horses, and when we have a big horse, and we've been fortunate to have quite a few of those, then they all are part of it.
And 2008, probably your banner year. Talk a little bit about that success.
2008 was when we got started, and we bought 11 horses for $410,000 in 2008. Patio Prado was one of those horses, and he finished 3rd in the Kentucky Derby, went on to win, well, he was worth over $5 million to Donegal Racing all in. So, yeah, that was a great way to start off. But we've had great horses since then with Delahan and Keen Ice, of course, and Balarox and Puka. And today we've got a lot of hopes for Shoke. It's pronounced Shoke. It's the Irish god of lightning. We've got a lot of hope for Shoke in this race that's coming up.
And looks as though he might be lightning.
You know, I think he will be a little more forwardly placed today. He's got a great finishing kick. He's just a gorgeous, gorgeous creature. And we're very excited. And except for the 11 hole, we'd be operating at a pretty high level of confidence. I just used my handy iPad to, well, you know.
Exactly. He would be my pick here in the paddock as well. Jerry, best of luck here in the With Anticipation.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, Greg?
Maggie, thank you. Yeah, of course, Keen Ice, who they had, won the Suburban, beat Shaman Ghost, one of the leaders in the handicap division back at Belmont.
And he also beat American Pharaoh. Ever heard of him?
He won a Triple Crown, didn't he?
I think so.
Loading up momentarily here for the Grade 3 With Anticipation. 5-2 favorite is evaluator. There is Terry Finley, though. West Point Thoroughbreds. They will send out Untamed Domain. The 8-horse, 4-1 on the board. Troubled Trip, and still was able to win impressively here at Saratoga in that second out effort. Meanwhile, Jerry Crawford, who you just heard from there with Maggie, and Donegal Racing, and Shoke, God of Lightning. Can they catch lightning in a bottle with his son of Scat Daddy? Just missed in his debut. And Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners sending out Earth. As you look at Aaron Wellman there. Earth trained by Todd Pletcher. 2 sprints, and now the stretch out, and we'll try 2 turns. The Grade 3 with Anticipation. Our feature race here coming up on this Wednesday afternoon. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown, Larry Colmus, for the.
Here is Evaluator moving into the starting gate along with Fort Wise Treaty. Waiting for Trumpy and Shoke. Shoke coming up to the outside stall to complete the line here under John Velasquez. 5-2 favorite is Evaluator right now. As Shoke is trying to be convinced to go into the outside stall, and he steps forward and in now. And they're all in line. They're off in the with Anticipation. Evaluator had another slow start today, so too did Untamed Domain. Earth goes out to the early lead. With Trumpy on the outside, away running in second position. These two out to the front together. Fort Wise Treaty is out third. Naughty Boy is fourth. Then it's Irish Territory fifth on the outside. Saving all the ground is Catholic Boy running along in sixth. Shoke is seventh early on. And then it's Mock Tree to the inside. Followed by Untamed Domain, Morrison, and Evaluator is last through a 23.19 quarter. It is Earth in front, with Trumpy on the outside pressing the pace in second. These two 1-2 up the back stretch. And then it's Naughty Boy in third, 2.5 lengths off of them. Fort Wise Tree fourth on the outside. Catholic Boy follows in fifth. Racing about 5 lengths off of front-running Earth. And Irish Territory to the outside. Shoke is up in mid-pack. Morrison is down toward the inside. Then it's Mock Tree, Untamed Domain, and Evaluator is still last after a 47.02 half. They're moving for the far turn, and Earth is still the leader from Trumpy, who's 3/4 of a length behind. Naughty Boy is third on the inside. Fort Wise Treaty. Here's Irish Territory with a bid on the far outside up into third. Also picking it up is Mock Tree to the outside, and then comes Catholic Boy. Shoke got caught in some traffic there. Evaluator's going to come wide. They're into the stretch, and Earth is the leader, but Irish Territory draws even as they come to the final furlong. Catholic Boy, Untamed Domain on the outside next, and then comes Naughty Boy on the far outside. Shoke, who had trouble at the top of the stretch, is trying to make up some late ground, but it's Catholic Boy. Catholic Boy, a 12-1, wins the with Anticipation over Irish Territory, then Untamed Domain, and Shoke in a final time of 1 minute 40.94 seconds.
Catholic Boy, Manny Franco, and Jonathan Thomas for Robert LaPenta take the with Anticipation.
Great ride here by Manny Franco. There you see the horse about fifth right on the rail. He's going to ask and push the button about right here and create a little bit of space, and there's not much there. What does he do? He spins off the turn, and he's lucky he did not run into anybody. He holds off the 8 who's trying to pin him in after getting left in the gate, and he gets Catholic Boy home. Somebody lit their candle today.
That was very nice performance here, and it was very similar to his debut effort where he made that move. Same exact spot, Paul.
And I'm interested to maybe go back and watch the break eventually, because it did kind of look like the 4 initially came over on the 3, but this horse overcame kind of a troubled beginning. He rated nicely. This is a horse who did pretty much the same thing in his debut, super professional, and he showed it once again here today. Manny Franco having a nice day.
And a bad break for both the 8 and the 9 as well at the start.
Yeah, we'll look at the start. I'm not sure. The
She's
four did
right,
come
the
in.
40
And
minute.
four actually came in and cut the 3 off. Absolutely right. Good call by Gabby. And Gabby and Frank both had talked about this horse with me. Gabby talked about it on Talking Horses, and Frank, while we were off camera. This horse got a very nice ride. And you're right. I mean, showed some tractability in here as well. As you say, some trouble there getting out. And this was not an easy race. Irish Territory, in retrospect, and I'm not trying to criticize Jose Lezcano, he probably moved a little soon and a little wide there while this horse saved ground and made the last move. This was the strongest with anticipation we've probably ever run in Saratoga.
The 8 ran giant. Got dead left and had to circle the field. And again, you made a point before the race. Evaluator was a bad bet, and the reason why is he broke dead last again. Sometimes it doesn't cure. You break dead last again, you can't beat this type of field.
It was a bad pick on my part.
3, 6, 8, 11. Yeah, the 8s, as mentioned, both the 8 and 9 breaking very slowly out of the gate in the beginning here, but well done to get third place money. But Catholic Boy with the win in the Grade 3 with anticipation, and perhaps we'll see this one line up in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf later this year at Del Mar. We're going to take a break in the action. Could be weeks until Houston and areas hit by Hurricane Harvey are in recovery mode. We'll be joined by Jim Mattress Mac Mackingvale, who has always been there for Houston, opening his doors with food and shelter once again.
How do I see New York bred performance? Like this.
Disco.
Here's New York sire Disco Partner setting a new world record in the Jaipur.
Holy mackerel.
And they perform like multiple Grade 1 winner Mind Your Biscuits.
And he's pouring it on late.
Shown here, winning the Belmont Sprint Championship. And New York breds perform in the sales ring, where this filly sold for $750,000. Look for your registered New York performer at upcoming auctions.
And they're off. NyraBet's Pick 5 is now available exclusively online at NyraBets.com. Bet the NyraBet's Pick 5 every race day with a 15% takeout on the last 5 races on the card from the country's best racing at Belmont and Saratoga. Find it nationwide on NyraBets.com right in the Bet Type drop-down menu or at any Nyra track or New York OTB location. NyraBet's Pick 5, racing's best bet.
Back on Saratoga Live, Catholic Boy comes in from Gulfstream and wins for trainer Jonathan Thomas. Manny Franco, third victory on the afternoon. Irish Territory, Untamed Domain, complete the trifecta. Let's go downstairs to Maggie for more.
Here with Jonathan Thomas, trainer of Catholic Boy. And Jonathan, noticing the way he ran today, he was a little bit green while winning his first start. He showed a totally new level of professionalism.
He did. I think coming up here a little bit early and letting him get acclimated really, was a benefit. And with the 2-year-olds, they really take a big leap in between starts. And we've kind of seen him turn a little bit into a man.
And also getting a work here over the Oklahoma turf track. Was that by design?
It definitely was. And I always feel like if we can give a rider a chance to sit on a horse before a race, it's a little bit of a confidence builder, or at least they can figure out the nuances of a horse.
And it looks as though Manny only had that one breeze with him, and he rode him like he'd been riding him 10 times before.
Manny rode him great. I love, the draw was very beneficial, and I thought he rode him beautiful.
And Jonathan, I know it's several months away, but do you give thoughts to juvenile turf?
Ask my boss.
Johnny? John Panagot, he does for Mr. LaPenta.
Obviously it's something you think about in the back of your head, but we'll let the horse develop organically and see where he takes us.
Well, Jonathan, job well done here. This is your first win, right?
This is my first stakes win. This is my first Saratoga win. Yeah, no, this is a lot of firsts, so it's pretty cool.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you. Thanks.
Greg?
Not bad to have your first win at Saratoga come in a graded stakes race. How about that? How well-deserved there. Jonathan Thomas takes the grade 3 with anticipation. And Catholic Boy, you got to figure, is thinking Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf after this performance. Still have the nightcap to come. We will set that one up in just a little bit. We are turn our attention to more pressing issues right now. There's a look at Run Happy, 2015 Breeders' Cup Sprint champion and named champion sprinter as well. Set a track record in that performance. This is a look at the devastation that is happening in the Houston and surrounding areas because of Hurricane Harvey that has now moved into Louisiana as well. Of course, Run Happy, owned by Jim Mattress Mac Mackingvale, who joins us on the show right now. I first have to say thank you so much for your support of our show, one of our primary sponsors here that has helped us bring Saratoga Live to a national audience. But we certainly want to talk to you about what is happening in where you are from here in the Houston area. What's it like there right now for those of us that don't know and just see it from an outside look on television? Because you're there, you're in it. How bad is it?
Greg, it's almost surreal. It's worse than it looks on television. We have a lot of floods in Houston. Normally it's very isolated in one little part of town. This is the entire city, 100-mile radius, and, 30,000 homes, 3, 4, 5 feet of water in them. Just incredible, and more flooding on the way, unfortunately. So a lot of people are hurting in Houston, but the city is banding together like I've never seen before. They're forgetting about Republicans. They're forgetting about Democrats. All they're focusing on is helping people, and that's where it ought to be. So out of every nightmare comes a blessing, and the blessing is that there's a lot of solidarity in Houston, and we're helping each other.
Now, hundreds of thousands are under evacuation orders. More than 1 trillion gallons of rain has fallen in Harris County, which includes the Houston area, in just the last 4 days. That is enough to run Niagara Falls for 15 days. You talk about the great human spirit, people coming together, and you're just a tremendous example of that. Opening your doors at Gallery Furniture, your furniture stores in the Houston area, to bring people in and provide food, provide shelter. When did you realize that, this is something I need to do because Houston's hurting right now?
When I was driving to work on Sunday, Greg, it took me 2 hours to get out of the driveway because the water was so deep in my street right outside my driveway. And as I drove to work, people going the wrong way on the freeway, I knew how serious it was. Got to work, had hundreds of emails and texts from customers, people that knew me, begging us to come rescue them out of their home as the water was rising. And so we took about 10 or 12 of our 24-foot trucks that will go through 4 or 5 feet of water, sent our drivers out. We rescued people off the top of rooftops. We rescued them from bridges. We rescued them from convenience stores and brought them to Gallery Furniture. We opened up both of our major stores as shelters, had 400 people in there 3 nights in a row. It's one of the best things we've ever done. Somebody asked me, how could you do that and let them sit on your furniture? How could we not do that? These are our people. We have to take care of our people.
Oh, incredible what you have done and all the people that you're helping. And you actually have, you have a long history of giving. For those who don't know, Jim McIngvale did this back when Katrina hit as well, and you actually had some of the people I had heard who you helped and gave shelter and food to back then who wound up becoming employees for you. Is that right?
Yeah, 3 of the Katrina people ended up, and they're still working for us. They're great employees, and out of this latest Hurricane Harvey, we got 5 or 6 Cracker Jack people we want to hire. So, it's the incredible resilience of the human spirit. These people came in, their life belongings that they now have left are in a trash bag. They're happy and they're optimistic. They're wanting to help around the store and volunteer in the restaurant. So it's been a very uplifting, although very sad, very uplifting several days because of the incredible resilience these people have. And we will band together in solidarity, and because of our struggles, we'll be stronger in the long run.
Well, parts of Houston are going to be uninhabitable for weeks, and we've heard possibly months. What can we do, and those watching, Jim, to help out?
I think donating to the American Red Cross is great. They've done a lot of the heavy lifting down here, and they'll continue to do heavy lifting in this community for years to come. And I'm trying to work out something where perhaps I can sell Tempur-Pedic mattresses to all the horse players nationwide. We can free deliver them, and then I'll take part of those proceeds and give it to the Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund as we try to help these people get their lives back to normalcy, help them get back in their homes, back in their apartments, back to work. That's what we need to do. But the city is healing because the city came together like no time ever before, and all the Texans are helping each other.
Well, we want to thank you for all that you have done. I know the Houston area, Texas, Louisiana wants to thank you as well. And you said you'll keep the people there as long as is needed. So thank you for everything that you do and going above and beyond the call to help out in a time of need. We appreciate you coming on the show as well and for your support of Saratoga Live.
Thank you, Greg. I love horse racing. I think Saratoga Live is a wonderful show. I love Saratoga. Run Happy's best victory was in the King Bishop Stakes last year at Saratoga, so I have a special place in my heart for where y'all are at. And keep up the great job on Saratoga Live, and keep Frankie in line.
We will try and do our best with that. Great having him on today. Thank you so much again for all that you do and your support of the show. We appreciate it. Jim, Mattress Mac, Mackingville. Again, you can text 90999 and immediately donate $10 to the Hurricane Harvey support group there with American Red Cross. Also, want to remind you this as well. Claiborne Farm sending this out. We're encouraged by Run Happy owners' efforts to help Houston and Mattress Mac. We want to show our support as well. Check out our online store to participate. 100% of the proceeds of all Run Happy merchandise through the end of September benefiting Hurricane Harvey relief in the Houston, Texas area. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back with more. Again, do what you can to help out. You can text 90999 and immediately donate $10 to the American Red Cross efforts. Our nightcap still to come here on Saratoga Live.
The big day is here. You've told everybody. You've dressed the part. Your heart is pounding in your chest. Your horse is rolling down the stretch. He's coming. He's closing. He's the winner! You're a winner with Parting Glass Racing. PartingGlassRacing.com. PartingGlassRacing.wow.
Back on Saratoga Live, as we have one race left here on this Wednesday afternoon as we get into our final week of racing here at the meet. The summer has gone by awfully quick. Want to remind everyone to get signed up, started, play along with Naira Bets from home or wherever you may be with your mobile device. Bet 200, you'll get 200 in your account using that promo code PICK5. You can get signed up with Naira Bets all across the country and bet over 200 tracks nationwide. Our final race coming up, we're back on the main track here at 7/8 of a mile. New York bred maiden special weight group, and it is Under Suspicion, Gabby, on the outside here. Start number 2 for this filly, the one to beat on the board.
For sure. She has experience edge here, and she was very quick out of the gate first time out. She also took a lot of money, so much money that you think that she would win. But since then, you know, she obviously has experience. She'll be speed from the outside, and that's always an edge in these 2-year-old races.
Now, guys, she is 2-1 here. She has that afternoon experience under her belt, and we'll see what happens here second time out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I don't love to take short prices, especially ones coming back in 12 days. But her last race was actually very good. She was forced to duel at a very contentious pace down the inside. This race fell apart late.
Yeah,
Horse who was stalking took over the stretch, and it's not like she totally collapsed. Now she draws towards the outside. Yeah, I don't love that she's coming back in 12 days. It's 7 furlongs in her experience. I think she either goes right to the lead or stalks on the outside and likely proves too good for these.
I thought it was a good effort. I like that he actually swung her out to give her some more racetrack to try a little bit more, and she showed some try there. I'm with you. Draw Some Out Smile was dead last in that race. She's the horse to beat in here. And then, do you want to take 2-1 on her? That's the thing.
She's not going to be 2-1. She's going to be 8-5 or 6-5.
Probably somewhere in that area.
When you look at her and you say, okay, she was the 8-5 favorite, understand that she was the 3rd choice at post time for this race. The favorite in that race was a horse named Miss Big Times for Jeremiah Engelhardt. Yes, she was.
Well, she was scratched early, though.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah.
She was not scratched early. She was scratched with a few minutes to
Oh,
post.
you're right. I apologize.
That's
You're
okay.
correct.
No problem. I remember this vividly. So they scratched that horse. There was another horse in there named Taylor's the Boss, who was actually the favorite during the loading process. And at the end, the late money came in, and Under Suspicion became the favorite. I'm not saying that that's really all that relevant.
She was second choice.
She was the second choice,
But
right.
Miss Big Times was coming off a very tough trip, and she had run.
I'm okay with all
So she
that.
was very live as a firster, even if Miss Big Times was in there.
I'm just saying, for people looking and saying, wow, this horse was 8-5, this horse became 8-5 at the very last click. I love a first-time starter in here, which we'll
The
talk
3
about
climbed the ladder. A distant second behind Trouble for Schuyler, who did not run well in a second start, was an impressive winner first time out. Her experience will help. I don't know how she picks it up, though, on the bottom horse.
I thought she was good, you know. And here's the thing. Her first race, it says rear non-starter, race for purse money only. Well, I never saw her race. I don't even know why that comment is out there, race for purse money only. She never broke out of the gate. Now, Troubles for Schuyler went into a stakes race and ran into a group of fast horses and had no shot. Now, I thought this was a good runner-up effort. She rushed up into this horse and is well clear of the second place finisher.
Her move right before we came to the shot of her at the quarter board, right about the 5/16, was a solid move mid-race, and she was clearly second best. The winner was much too good that day, but I like the fact that she ran so well in that event.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if she's probably the likeliest one if the 9 doesn't show up. We'll find out what Maggie thinks. This one seems to be a little tough to saddle.
Yeah, we're going to try to get the pony with her here, guys, climb the ladder, but I'm going to stick with some first-time starters here. Number 6 is Salty Smile, who is out of a dam that, well, I remember running Saltamonte. She was a pretty fast runner for Rudy Rodriguez, and she's a good size here. She's a bigger type. She does debut without Lasix, so I'm wondering if she's going to kind of need a start here overall, and we'll see how she negotiates the 7-8. She is the daughter of Bellamy Road, and with that size, I'm sure that she might be okay going the 7 furlongs. Now, number 7, you know me, I hate talking about Tom's horses, my husband. Sunblock, though. But looking at this field completely objectively, this filly looks very, very good here. Now, the 7/8 is probably an ideal distance, given that it's the longest distance that these 2-year-olds are running here on the dirt. She'll probably want longer going forward, but she does look fit here, and she looks really, really good here in the paddock, guys.
All right, so first time out, Sunblock. We shall see 7/8 of a mile as well with no stars. Who's going to be able to last coming down the lane? Maybe a first-time starter. We're going to have the post parade when we come back. Under Suspicion, though. Second time out off that debut effort. Right now, the one to beat.
Visit the new Rivers Casino and Resort, the Capital Region's only destination for live table game action and where the hottest new slots are paying out millions. Sign up for Rush Rewards and play up to $500 in slots on us. Plus, we'll double any casino offer and match your tier. Rivers Casino and Resort.
Back here on Saratoga Live, Fox Sports 2 and MSG Plus. Let's take a look at the Saratoga Showdown standings and see who is in line to earn 50,000 Naira Bets wagering points and an entry into a prize package for next year's Belmont Stakes. Still wide open here with 4 players, a chance to close this out, it looks like.
It's going to be an interesting final race as well. Multiple different ways to go, but well done up to this point.
SaratogaShowdown.com, Naira.com, where you get signed up and play for free in that contest each and every day. Naira Bets, late pick 5, follow along, $20 horse, $17 horse to start us off, $24 horse in there. This pick 5 is going to be nice. With more on this field, as I live and breathe, Andy Serling has experience, although that first start left a lot to be desired.
Well, I know one person, one Naira Bets customer, is hoping that As I Live and Breathe wins because it's $123,000 if the person didn't play through Naira Bets, but that one ticket that's live through Naira Bets will be worth $150,000. So that's $27,000 extra if the one wins, if you bet it through Naira Bets, and that person did, Paul.
Yeah, and if you have a deal with ERS, which is called IRS, that will take care of that for you, the $25,000.
And hopefully you'll get some of it back.
Yeah, you get some of it back at the end of the year.
If you have a few dollars that you
Yeah,
lost
exactly.
against it, we hope you keep on winning. As I Live and Breathe did act up before the start last time out and is kind of a semi-first-time star in this race for a dangerous trainer, Gabby and Michelle Nevin.
Absolutely, and this filly has a really nice pedigree by Union Rags and is a half to a horse by the name of Miss Narcissus, who's a 2-time New York Bred Stakes winner. So maybe she can improve after maybe acting a little bit better today.
Well, always great to have that education under your belt, and we'll see if things go more smoothly. As our post-parade coming up here for race 10, and we're going to see As I Live and Breathe first to start us off here on the board at 7:01 as the crowd makes their way from the paddock trackside. And here is the daughter of Union Rags for Michelle Nevin, who's having a nice meet.
As I Live and Breathe, we talked about her. She didn't walk out of that gate, and therefore she was a big disappointment at odds of 5-1. And I think that she looks very well there on her toes walking onto the track.
The 3 climb the ladder, sent out by Tom Morley, one of 2 he has in this race, the daughter of Bellamy Road. Jose Ortiz for Mary Lakes Farm.
You can't really hold anything against her. She's had a nice month off, and I believe this race will be dominated by the stallion Bellamy Road.
Here's whatever the 4-horse. Blinkers come off, gets Lasix for AC Avila with Ricardo Santana Jr.
And gets Lasix for the first time. Blinkers come off, but an aggressive rider in the saddle and Ricardo Santana Jr.
Burning Rose is a first-time starter. Dominic Schettino trainee and Kendrick Carmouche aboard.
The Dam Peach Flambe would be familiar to some New York fans. She earned over $400,000, including winning the Cicada. And there are a couple of winners in the family, including a 3-time winner.
Rudy Rodriguez sends out this first-timer by Bellamy Road. Irad Ortiz Jr. in the irons.
And it's also the first foal out of a nice mare who's a 5-time winner on the dirt. Hopes to follow suit with this 2-year-old filly.
Stare to Dream Stables Sunblock, the other Tom Morley runner, and Julian Leperoux will ride.
If Maggie likes her, that should be good enough for everyone out there to put a couple of dollars down. You're getting 6-1 on this $60,000 purchase.
8-horse was a late scratch in this field. The 9 Under Suspicion, trained by Phil Serpy, Chester Mary Broman, and Luis Saez.
No question that was a good effort in her debut. She was trying at the very end. The Dam was also very solid, won both of her starts as a 2-year-old and was 4 for 8 overall.
Now 2-1 solid favorite here on the outside. Looking for maybe some leftover vouchers, those Seagulls?
Maybe.
Here's As I Live and Breathe. We talked about the trouble with this horse first time out, and let's take a look at it back on July 26th here at Saratoga.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in here at the start. Obviously not ready. You know, you just don't know, guys, how much you really affected. Obviously, we haven't turned it on. We're still stopped. There we go. See what happens with her as they're going.
Yeah, this is the problem you have. Like, she's acting up big time in the gate, right? Okay, now she rears, loses the rider. This is never a winning recipe. Now they sort of backed her out, they reloaded her, and she ran. Okay, that's her excuse. I get it. But now she's loading first today. What, you know, I mean, it could happen again. It's not like 7-1 for Prosperous. This horse is going to have to be way much best.
I don't think Michelle Nevin, though, is sending this horse back to the track unless she's done a lot of gate work. Michelle Nevin is a very good trainer. Doesn't mean the horse is going to win, but I'll be surprised if this horse isn't much more professional in the gate today.
And there are many multiple winners in this family. So this is a family of winners from the very nice Stallion Union Racks.
Here is Frank Miramati's horse. Frank has been chopping at the bid for like 7 hours. He called me last night. He said, I can't wait to talk about Salty Smile, whose Dam Saltamontes was a very nice runner.
And that's the reason I absolutely love Salty Smile today. The fans who I've talked to over here today, they're going to either like me or dislike me based upon the performance of Salty Smile, who wears the same silks as her Dam Saltamontes, who won right here at Saratoga at first asking, paid $27, came back, and then won the Friendly Beauty, beating Yaki Way, who you remember very well, and then she was second next in the Maid of the Mist. So Mommy could run. This is her first full. She's from a good barn. She's getting money on the board. I think it's an absolute play here. Number 6, Salty Smile. Been waiting all day for her.
I think the first-time star, though, is really nice. Is he riding in this race? He doesn't. Those are silks. I think
he's got a Greg Wolf
I'm
head of
shocked
hair
he hasn't come. He does. He did. He's emulating Greg Wolf. He looks just like Greg's hairdo. Sunblock. Isn't the 7 Sunblock the first it's live? You know that Salty Smile, Irad Ortiz, Rudy Rodriguez, Saltamontes. You know this horse is going to get bet. Sunblock could have been any price near for Tom Morley. I think the 7 Sunblock is the first that's really live here.
It probably is now clicks down to 5-1. She's got a pedigree. MC on the top side, won the 4-go. Out of a put
you
it back
MC, Paul.
Yeah, one of my faves. Dare to Dream stable here, and Julian Leperoux. I would think he looks like a horse that wants to go longer, but 7 furlongs might be right up his alley.
Well, first-time star is going 7. You want one that wants to go longer. The 2 foals from this Dam did no running. They paid $60,000 after a 10 2/5 work that I personally wasn't impressed with, but they did. The money to me is meaningful on this horse, Frank.
And the Dam ran well at age 2. She ran 4 times. She had a win, a second, and a third. So that's good.
There's actually better Dam side pedigree in the 5, Burning Rose, who's taking a little bit of nibbles here as well. This one's a better family. A couple were okay runners.
Yeah, a couple. You're talking about Peach Flambe. This horse had been working with another horse called Dancing Joe, who was a little bit disappointing, but been working okay, and that's why this horse is getting money. And there you see Dominic, very good at this move, Frank.
There you go. This is a first-time starter by Freud. There's always the grass for the future on this horse, so you can't really ignore her. And
I want to know what Maggie thinks.
We should all want to know what Maggie thinks.
Well, thanks, guys, I guess. As we'll take a look at the second-time starter, that's number 1, As I Live and Breathe, for Michelle Nevin. Now, she is getting Paco Lopez aboard here. Now, Paco isn't one to necessarily always love to take a horse away from the pony, but he's done so, and I'm pretty sure that the fact that she is one that didn't leave very well. Uh-oh, we have a late scratch again here. Oh, listening. So number 4, Here's Whatever, is a late scratch on recommendation of the vets. So the stewards have scratched number 4, Here's Whatever. That's okay, because I wasn't going to talk about Here's Whatever. But as I said, As I Live and Breathe, I think Paco has it in his mind. He's got to wake this filly up. He's got to get her running from the rail. And it looks as though he's done that. She's very sharp here in her pre-race. Now, number 5 is Burning Rose, the other first-time starter, the only other one of the 3, and gets Kendrick Carmouche aboard. And I think that's a bit interesting. He obviously is one that likes to give an aggressive warm-up. He's done so. She's been very professional. She is fit-looking. I love Freud's. I like the family on this filly a lot here, guys. Obviously, Dominic not firing with his first-time starters, not as much this year as he has in years past, but he could wake up here with number 5, Burning Rose. Greg?
Horseshoe, yeah, taking some play and had some intriguing works as well in the morning as you look at Ricardo Santana Jr., lonely man right now, jockey without a mount, late scratch of his filly, Here's Whatever, the 4.
He looks so sad. He looks so lonely. I just want to go sit on the rail with him and have a little talk. He'll be okay.
He will. So another day for the second start for Here's Whatever, daughter of Here Comes Ben, who's going to be making the equipment change of blinkers off, not today, as she'll head back to the barn. Doesn't really change this race a whole lot. That filly didn't do a whole lot of running first time out as we take a look now at the 9. And now even more money on Under Suspicion. We see both Maggie and Andy going with the daughter of Friend or Foe as well.
And as we say all the time, experience definitely does pay off in these 2-year-old races when you're facing a whole bunch of unknowns, especially going 7/8 on the main track. It can be a really trying distance for some of these first-time starters, and she debuted. She showed speed. She was really encouraged, though, by Luis Saez to get out of the gate and get to the lead from the rail. Unfortunately, that was the situation with several others, and she had to battle it out on the front end. But today, with an outside post position, Greg, at least it gives her options, although I do think she's going to be forwardly placed.
Another look at Ricardo Santana Jr. heading back to the barn. Not today with the late scratch of Here's Whatever. So, yeah, 3-2 on Under Suspicion as we get another look at the other intriguing runner with experience. Faced Trouble for Skylar in the debut, who was an 8-length winner. Was the best of the rest of that bunch. Of course, Trouble for Skylar would come back and run 7th in the Seeking the Ante.
She is a tough one to gauge because of the situation that happened first time out. And then she came back, and people will see in the company lines that she ran second to Trouble for Skylar. But she ran second to her by 8 lengths. So there was a lot that separated there as we see Ricardo Santana once again carrying his goods back home. There we go.
Meanwhile, look at the 7 Sunblock. So here's the other Tom Morley runner. We talked about Climb the Ladder, the experienced one out of the barn. Here's the firster, 5-1. So taking some play with Julien Leperoux. Maggie liked the way the horse looked. She should know. Part of her husband's barn. So intriguing for sure.
And Andy brought up the point that this horse is taking money. I almost wonder if it is because of the Syndicate Dare to Dream stable. I know there are definitely players at the window, so that could be something, but she looks fantastic, and Maggie gave the check mark as well, so always one to respect.
And it just feels like a field. I mean, the horses with experience, guys, didn't show us a ton in the debut, so it wouldn't be shocking to see a firster step up here.
I guess. I mean, I think the 9's going to probably win. It's a great call by Gabby, though, about the Syndicate.
Here's Larry Colmus with the call.
They're off. Under Suspicion broke well. Burning Rose is sent along to take the lead. And then it's Climb the Ladder on the inside, who's 3rd early on. Salty Smile follows in 4th up the backstretch, clear by another 2.5 to As I Live and Breathe. Sunblock a step slow to start, trails the field. So up the backstretch they go, with Burning Rose the leader. Under Suspicion 3/4 of a length behind, second by 2. Climb the Ladder 3rd of the inside. As I Live and Breathe goes up between horses. Salty Smile is there on the outside. And then it's Sunblock, held up at the back and racing 7 off the lead after a 23.23 quarter. There's a half mile to go. Burning Rose and Kendrick Carmouche lead the field into the far turn by a length. Under Suspicion is second. Salty Smile is third on the outside, within 2 lengths of the lead. It's another 3 lengths more to climb the ladder as I Live and Breathe and Sunblock on the outside of them. Under Suspicion comes up alongside of Burning Rose after a 46.42 half. These two turn for home together. And on the outside, Under Suspicion is even with Burning Rose at the top of the stretch. They're clear from Salty Smile. The others haven't moved. Furlong to run, and Burning Rose is holding on to this lead. Under Suspicion is full out, and now 2 lengths behind, and Burning Rose is pulling away. Burning Rose has got it. Burning Rose and Kendrick Carmouche clear by 4.5 under the wire. Under Suspicion was second, and then it was Salty Smile and climbed the ladder in 124.55.
Burning Rose, first time out at 10-1. Kendrick Carmouche for Dominic Schettino the win.
Beautiful performance from this daughter of Freud, Greg. She went out there, put away the favorite Under Suspicion, who had a good trip. Salty Smile, the first-time starter, had a perfect trip as well. The best filly won, and she pulled away with authority to win at first asking. The future very bright for her.
It seems like a reoccurring theme here that Kendrick Carmouche in the nightcap at Saratoga goes wire to wire, as he says clean faces win races, and that was the exact case with the 5 Burning Rose. She shot out of the gate under a little bit of encouragement from Kendrick Carmouche, and she just kind of took the confidence away from the second place finisher in here, the 9 Under Suspicion, guys.
You know, this was a pretty nice win. I agree with what you said, especially Frank. I mean, this horse, it's an honest pace for this quality of horse.
It was.
Honest pace, solid final time. It's a nice win.
24-2 for Seb Furlongs for New York bred. I'm with you. You know, the 9 challenged her late, but race was over. I looked at you and I said, Kendrick's gone. By the way, 61 dimes, Greg Wolf. 61 dimes if you had the pick 5.
Congratulations, Greg. You had this, right?
I was so close, guys. Seriously, you won't believe it. I'll tell you my painful story after the show. But yeah, 61,000, pretty incredible. The return, again, this Naira Bets late pick 5, incredible value. We'll recap it when we come back from a short timeout. But a first-time starter takes the nightcap here. Dominic Schettino, well done. Owned by Brad Bernstein and Robert Rosenthal, and Kendrick Carmouche in the finale. Being aggressive pays off. Tomorrow on the show, feature race, the P.G. Johnson. We'll have that for you on Thursday afternoon. We'll be back with more Saratoga Live in just a minute.
Undefeated in sprint competition, Eclipse champion Run Happy captured 3 Grade 1 victories and set blistering speed records at both Keeneland and Saratoga. In the Breeders' Cup Sprint, he dominated the world's fastest runners, going 6 furlongs in a record-breaking 108 and change. The only horse nominated for 3 Eclipse Awards, Run Happy was crowned champion male sprinter, all the while racing 100% drug-free. Champion, millionaire, record breaker, Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm. After siring the winners of last year's Grade 1 Test Stakes and Humana Distaff, Flatter is having another banner year in 2017. Recent stars include graded stakes winners Flatline and Favorable Outcome, plus multiple graded stakes winner West Coast, who defeated this year's Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont, and Haskell winners in the Grade 1 Travers. Flatter, the successful son of AP Envy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Summer of Dreams 4 is back at Foxwoods, and we've got guaranteed millions in cash and prizes up for grabs. Sign up free for Foxwoods Rewards and earn points playing our World Series of Poker and the Big Dream Slot Tournament with Mario Lopez. Also, try our new skill-based slots. Then, use your points for summer wonders like Lobster Madness, golf at the Lake of Isles, and shop the region's only indoor Tanger outlets. Foxwoods Resort Casino, the wonder of it all. Find your wonder now at foxwoods.com.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Use Naira Bets to bet on live horse racing from around the world. Bet from anywhere, anytime using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus today. Naira Bets, racing's best play. Use promo code PICK5 to get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live as we put a wrap on Wednesday action in our final week here of the meet. And Kendrick Carmouche in the nightcap. Little Cajun flavor. And representing Burning Rose, first time out, getting the win. 5-9-6, $22 winner in the finale here. Let's head downstairs to Maggie.
Well, it looks as though Kendrick chose smartly here in tonight's last, as he'd been working Burning Rose, and she's surely left there running, Kendrick.
Yes, I've been on her twice in the morning for Dom, and I work her once out the gate, and she worked really good. And we come back, work her easy half a mile, and she done the same thing as I work out the gate. And I'm just glad that, you know, I win a race for Dominic Schettino. Everybody need to get off the bucket list at Saratoga. And, you know, congratulations to his owners and himself and his team at the barn. We got there, buddies.
And she was fairly resilient. I mean, you had the winner breathing down your neck at even money and under suspicion, and she kicked away from her.
Yeah, I knew whenever I left the gate I wouldn't have a problem because she just had her ears pinned back, very determined to fight with anybody who came next to her, and she ran such a good race. I take my hat off to her.
Kendrick, you excited? We have a week left here. Did well, rolling into Belmont.
We got to keep rolling, keep fighting. Keep positive attitude, keep God with you, and everything can become successful.
And guys, this is why he's my favorite interview. Kendrick, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, Greg.
I love Kendrick so much, too. He's always got a positive attitude. He's always got a great smile on his face, and he always gives you everything he has on every mount he's aboard. Of course, this year's Mike Venezia Award winner as well.
I've never seen him in a bad mood.
No.
And that's hard to do some days, these long days, but always upbeat and always has wise words to say. Here's the pick 5, $61,000 for the 50-cent
You have
wager.
got to be getting in on this. If you are not already, you can play it at NyraBets.com. If you're the single winning ticket, which was very close to happening today, minimum single winning payout of $150,000, $300,000 on Saturdays. And there's a look at our Saratoga Showdown standings. T. Mosier 7, I guess, is our winner. That's what I'm going to go with.
Sure.
646.80 bankroll today. That's not bad. You can play this contest free each and every day. So 50,000 Naira rewards betting points in that account and an entry into that prize package for next year's Belmont Stakes. Well done. Go to Saratoga Showdown to get involved and risk none of your own money to play. Jockey standings. Jose Ortiz, 53 wins, up on his older brother, Irad Ortiz Jr., and trying to defend his title in good position.
Every day you turn around, it looks like at least one of the Ortiz brothers is winning pretty much every race on the card. But congratulations, Jose Ortiz having a phenomenal meet. Here's a trainer standings. And Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher, this is going to be a good fight to the finish.
It literally might come down to the last race of the entire meet.
It might. How exciting would that be?
That'd be incredible. Right now, it's Chad Brown, 1 up, but a long way to go with still 5 more days of racing coming up here. You can download and catch the rest of our show if you're not around a TV any day of the week by downloading that Naira Now app. Watch live Saratoga Racing replays, expert analysis videos, and workouts all on demand and in HD with that Naira Now app, the ultimate app for horse racing fans. It's a free download and absolute must for racing at Saratoga. Hope you enjoyed our Wednesday afternoon show. The Great 3 with anticipation for Catholic Boy. It's on to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Maybe with a stop in between. Jonathan Thomas, his first win at Saratoga. His first stakes win at Saratoga. What a day. We'll see you on Thursday.